Falcon fans, and of course, Falcon fan. You already know what it is. You already know what to do, man. One time for the fan. Feeling good, feeling great on this Sunday evening here for all you diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. T. Will is here with us talking Atlanta Falcons football. One time for the fan is in the building. Episode 186. T. Will, how's everything going over there for you, sir?
It's going well, sir. It's going well. I have no complaints. It's on a Sunday evening, and hey, man, I am ready to talk some Falcons football. So let's
Wait,
get to it.
you're ready to talk some Falcons football. I'm ready to talk some Falcons football. Auntie Pam Johnson is in the
Auntie
chat.
Pam,
Ready to talk some Falcons football. Happy
how
Easter
are
to all
you?
celebrates. Big shout out to everybody here in the chat. Once again, thank you all for joining us here on One Time for the Fan, diehard Atlanta Falcon fans, talking Falcons football with, of course, the Falcons community. And we have some things to talk about tonight. Of course, we're back on our normal Sunday evening, 8 p.m. podcast, feeling good. Then we have our Wednesday night show. Don't forget about that. And then our Friday morning breakfast with One Time for the Fan has been doing very well. And big shout out to everybody who's awake around that time of us doing the show. It's around like 9:30 in the morning for our West Coast crew. As you saw DSGB Hall, who's in the chat here tonight, man, big shout out to DSGB Hall. He said the other day on Friday morning, it's still dark over here in Cali. It's this dark. The sun is not up yet, and y'all over here talking Falcons football. He was awake to talk Falcons football. It's great when you have fans like DSGB Hall, who it's not about one time for the fan. It's about this, man. You know what I'm saying? You still take one time for the fan away. I can talk DSGB Hall about Falcons any time of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's about the Falcons, man. At the end of the day, but welcome to all first timers in the channel. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let's run the numbers up. Let's run the comments up. Questions tonight. We have a lot of things to talk about. So for those in the chat that have a lot of questions for us about one time for the fan or about the Atlanta Falcons, let us know right here on the channel. We'll go ahead and display it on the screen so we can get straight to it. Remember, Auntie Pam, T. Will, you wasn't here last year, but Auntie Pam called Bijan from the day the Super Bowl was over. From the day after, it was like Bijan.
Mm-hmm.
Even I remember Pam would be in the chat. No need to talk about Jalen Carter. It's Bijan.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Yeah, it felt like it was going to be Bijan, quite candidly. I mean, with and don't get me wrong, Jalen was a great candidate, but it just seemed like, especially with the timing of the off the field incident and what have you, the closer we got to it, it just felt like it was going to be Bijan. So good call, Auntie Pam. Good call indeed. Speaking of draft,
what's up, brother?
And all things Falcons, looks like we may be concentrating on edge rusher after all, as we did not acquire Mr. Hassan Reddick, as most of you know, and if some of you don't know, he did end up going to the Jets.
What?
Yeah, he went to the Jets. Benny and the Jets? I'm kidding. He went to the New York Jets, not the Jets from that movie, but the New York Jets. And Falcons are still looking for an edge rusher. And that's not to say that they don't have plans in the works. Guys, you have to trust in the GM. Maybe the price that they wanted was too steep. You don't know. We don't know what took place. We weren't privy to it. The only thing we know is that we didn't get Hassan, and things must go forward. So we could still end up with Calais. We could still end up with, a few other guys. And we could also go into the draft and draft one of Dallas Turner, Verse, or Latu. And I really would like to get into that, because the closer we get to it, things continue to evolve, right? Latu appears to have great hands.
I love the film on Latu, man.
But
just anywhere you put him on that line is just a wrecking ball.
Yeah, but what concerns me is his injury history, right? Verse is pretty good. I think of all three, Dallas Turner probably has the highest ceiling. But of all three, Dallas Turner is probably the most raw. So, it's interesting. The more I look at this, it's clear as mud. I have no idea what they're going to do. No idea.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Chat is live. Chat is lit. Dirty Fanatics United is in the chat. DSGB Hall's in the chat. Dexter V Lash is in the chat. Jeff Wolf is in the chat. Sterling Woods is up here in the chat. Lisa Shepard is here with the chat. One time for the fan. Rise Up edition. Happy Resurrection Sunday. No Bodie tonight. No Chase tonight. Big shout out to them too as well. John Moreno is in the chat. Rise up. Happy Easter to all my Falcons family all over the world. You see how cool it is when fans come in here and they give their greetings and their blessings and their shout outs.
Hello, John.
Let's talk Falcons football.
That's right. Hello, John, and hello, Lisa.
So it's good to see everybody in the chat. Wallace Smith is in the chat. Don't forget, Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, and subscribe button. Tag your Falcons friends, tag your Falcons family. Hashtag one-timers, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere. I don't know. Just Google this. Travis Preston's in the chat. Happy Resurrection Day, Falcons fan. Big shout to Travis in the chat. Ramel's in the chat with the one time what's happening. Philip Crawford's up in the chat. We love talking Falcons football with the chat. When we have special guests, it's kind of difficult to get to the chat. We'll read, we'll kind of just put the comments on the screen, and we can never actually sit back and, give shout outs to the fans in the comments sometimes. Because you saw with Scott the other day, it was 3 hours of nonstop Falcons football, right? We talked to the damn sun came up damn near.
Yeah, Scott. Scott was great.
But for Falcons fans in the chat, you heard what Terry did say. The Falcons did not land Hassan Reddick. And it goes to a situation where what are the Falcons going to do going forward with this roster? And before we get through these comments, big shout out to Ramel in the chat. Jeremiah is also in the chat too as well. What's up, Jack Spade, Falcons fan? Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat, Jeremiah. Dave is also in the chat. Day one Dave is in the chat, man. Big shout out to Dave in the chat. Nick Bungalow is in the chat. Happy Easter. Hey, big shout out to you too, Nick, man. Big shout out to you. Jeff Wood said Jack had Carter. Man, a lot of people was calling Carter, man. What can you say? A lot of people was calling Carter. But I did have a list. A list. Same thing I did this year. And I want Falcon fans to do the same thing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket on a player. Fans in the chat here believe it's Dallas Turner. They go Latu, then you start getting mad. Don't do that. Have a bunch of names on your list. Look at the tape. Look at the film. You guys have time on your hands. Don't let the Falcons just be the scouts. You can be the scouts too as well, right? Go out there and look to see how these edge rushers use their hands, how they're good in certain attack techniques when they're trying to get to the quarterback, how they're looking when they're trying to, they put that pressure in the backfield for tackles for loss on running backs, or however they're able to move around in the zone coverage if Jimmy Lake wants to use them in that coverage. I mean, you heard what Scott Karisik said about Latu, how much of a fit he is for Jimmy Lake's system. And some fans were in the chat saying, well, we haven't even seen the system really. We heard that they're calling, the 3-4 defense, but we haven't seen this team play. So some fans are saying, no, it's the Dallas Turner type of fit. Other fans are saying, no, it's the Kenyon Mitchell type of fit. Kenyon Mitchell, I'm sorry, the kid from Toledo, the cornerback. So some fans are calling it out. Some fans are saying, hey, you got Kirk Cousins, go get wide receiver at 8. So there are fans here in the chat that is, going back and forth in a good way about who they want to see the Falcons draft. And that's the cool thing about being a Falcon fan at this time. You're seeing your team rebuild. You're seeing the positivity of the fans saying that we're going to win again. We can win this division. We can get back to, that NFC champion. I mean, all this is going to happen. But right now in the offseason, fans are excited about the moves that's being made and what is happening in front of them. And so far, we have not really touched the defense outside of street. So now we got to make a decision. What's going to happen going forward? I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, I just want to remind you, remember, we said we were going to do a show and we were going to go over maybe 8 or 10 candidates. Yeah. Right. So, and what's exciting about
we can do that Wednesday night.
Yes. And what's exciting about this, one time for the fans and family, may as well call you guys family. We see you Monday Wednesday and Friday, and I'm sorry, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Pop-up
Anyway,
shows on Mondays too. So you
yeah,
called it out right. Yep.
yeah, yeah. But the exciting thing about this is, guys, as we approach the draft, we can really make this fun because when you approach this, you have to approach it as though it could be at least one of 10 people, maybe one of 15. And so what we're going to be doing in this upcoming show is looking at the pros and cons of each candidate, looking at how they would fit into our scheme, and looking to see, okay, what's the best fit for us here. So I really think you guys are going to enjoy it. And as our host just said, it's going to be Wednesday night, so you guys should be looking forward to that. Jack, I'm sorry. Back to you, sir.
No, you're
Just
good,
wanted to
brother.
remind you of that.
It's always Falcons football when we're talking Falcons football here. And for the fans in the chat, the same thing Terry just said about the draft prospects we're going to look at. It's going to help, not to say Sterling Woods is calling certain players out, but it's going to help Sterling Woods and DSGB Hall and everybody in the chat to say, oh, I see why One Time for the Fan is just so cool about whoever the Falcons draft. Because we're going to tell you about how these guys can fit with the team, because we don't know the draft board from Terry outside of what people are saying, right?
Correct.
Terry could be in the room and saying, nah, I like the kid from Iowa.
Right.
Matter of fact, I like the cornerback from Alabama.
Yeah, these are educated guesses at best.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is Dallas Turner and those two names I just threw out. Don't quote me for that, saying One Time for the Fan said Terry's saying it. No, for Dallas Turner and Latu and Verse, those are the players right now that I think fans see fitting with this team, because we didn't land Hassan Reddick. We haven't brought back Campbell. We haven't brought back Bud Dupree. People saying edge. I think we're going to get the edge, right? I think that's where we're leaning. But then again, I want everybody to look outside of the edge and see that there's other fits that can help this team. Matter of fact, we're going to do a little mock tonight. We got some time to do a little mock tonight. A quick mock, not a Scott Karisic mock, where it's going to be 2-3 hours. With Scott, let me tell you something about Scott. He's definitely, he breaks down a lot when it comes to the team. So when you got that draft from us the other night, Terry, you got Scott saying why we're picking this player, why he fits, what he did in college, what his future potential is. And that's why it's always cool to talk to Scott on those type of levels. And even Falcon fans in the chat, we've talked to as well. Sterling, me and you have talked before in the chat, even outside of One Time for the Fan, about the direction the Falcons are going and what draft pick they may go. I mean, it's always cool to talk Falcons football with you guys every single day, even when the camera and the mic is not on. Wallace Smith is in the chat. How's Dallas the most raw if you played in the toughest conference? I'm just saying. See how Wallace Smith now is looking at it, where he's like, maybe it might not be Dallas Turner. It might not be the person who some fans may see. I mean, some fans are calling for Jared Verse, where you might have to draft back and get Verse. They're saying he's not a top 10 pick. It's a reach if you get him at 8, because you might be able to trade back and get him at 11, 12, 13, even 14, 15. Remember, we did our draft with Scott the other night. We was able to trade back and get Turner and Latu in the first round with a trade back. That was surprising. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this Photoshop?
Yeah.
How the hell did you trade back in this mock, which was random? You trade back in this mock, you pick up Turner, and then we picked up Latu, and I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? And that was, remember what it was, Terry? If we didn't get Hassan Reddick. That was the first mock we did. The second one was if we did get Hassan Reddick, what would it look like?
Yeah.
So it was crazy to see, well, if the Falcons don't get Hassan Reddick, maybe they attack the edge position 2 or 3 times this draft. You can't go wrong with enough edge rushers. Maybe your 1 is your edge rusher. Maybe your 3 is your edge rusher. Maybe your 5th rounder is your edge rusher. And you feel like
maybe we trade back, right? Maybe we trade back and get an extra 2nd round or an extra 1st round and go edge and whatever you need.
I want to do the draft tonight where it's not going to be where we don't do the trade back.
Okay.
I want to do the draft where we just pick at 8 on this one.
Okay.
And just see how it lands us. But some fans are saying no trade back because right now you haven't landed Reddick, and we're trying to fill up this roster with some, of course, with Terry's drafting skills. I mean, some gems, and you can definitely get some gems in this draft, from wide receiver to cornerback to edge to interior defensive linemen. They got some players out here, guys. Lisa Shepard said that show with Scott was great. Ramel's in the chat said, what J's you wore for Easter? Well, I didn't bring out my hairs, so you're not gonna see those. Didn't bring out the Easter bunnies. Actually, I didn't wear no J's today, man. I was just, I was lounging. I was at the Atlanta United game, so I didn't want to, step out too fresh over there. But nah, I ain't bring out no J's today, man. I got my one sitting over here though, man. My Gym Reds, but it's tough, Ramel. I remember Ramel, man. He's heavy on that sneaker game too, as well, man. We're supposed to have a sneaker battle a long time ago, but changed up my collection now, Ramel. It's looking kind of different, man. But I'd let you know what's going on.
He's a sneakerhead, is he? Okay.
He's a sneakerhead. He's a sneakerhead. He's a part of the community. He's definitely part of the sneakerhead community. Jeff Wolf said, Turner, Jack, when have I been wrong? Jeff Wolf is in the chat now. You see how I'm saying? Jeff Wolf is in the chat. Now, he was right when he told me about the Deion Jones move, right? He was right when he told me about the Calvin Ridley move, right? And a couple other things Jeff Wolf has said that has been accurate. And fans, they have that rank where it's like, well, I said these things and you guys should agree with me. Then again, if you do your fact checking, if you do your research, you could be right a lot of times. Jeff Wolf is calling for Dallas Turner. I do want to say this when it comes to Dallas Turner, that even before we landed Kirk Cousins, CBS Sports and Yahoo and them, they had us at Dallas Turner at 8 way before the free agency, way before everything, because they were looking at it as, well, the Falcons ain't going to get no. Remember how we were talking quarterback at 8 and trading up? Those networks was like, nah, it's Dallas Turner. Because of the fact that where they saw it, where behind the scenes, maybe some of those journalists and some of those people that cover NFL sports 24/7, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, all the stats, all the analytics, everything, they saw the Falcons and said, they're not going to trade up for no quarterback. They're going to go get a veteran. Even around the combine, when the talks of Kirk Cousins became more apparent that he may be the quarterback, it was still showing Dallas Turner.
Right.
And now you're in a position where you haven't got Hassan Reddick. Fans want this splashy edge rusher here in the city. And now you sit at number 8, where there is 3 guys. One who some are saying he is top 10 potential. You can't let him get past 8. The other one where fans are saying it's possible top 10 potential, but then again, in a couple mocks, I've seen him go between 15 and 30 the past couple mocks I've seen, which is a lot too. Yeah. And then Jared Verse falls around that same category too, anywhere between 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Now, how the draft is going to fall that night, we will find out. But you can't go wrong on getting a Dallas Turner. I've seen the film. He's decent. He's really nice. But then again, Latu too as well. And Jared Verse too as well.
It could be. Here's the thing, right? You could have a smorgasbord of talent available because the Vikings need a quarterback. The Vikings are going to trade up, and they may trade up higher than us. There's rumors that you have a couple of other teams that wish to trade up. So it's going to get interesting, right? Let's say you have 5 quarterbacks go in the top 7 picks.
That's a tough call.
That's tough, but it could happen.
That's a tough call.
Here's the thing about it. You know that 3 are going to go, right?
I know the 3 is going to go. It's the Penix and the J.K. McCarthy is like, it's tough to see. But then again, the Giants might do that at 7.
At 6.
6, yeah.
Giants are at 6, right? I think the Giants are at 6.
Look at this mock.
But you also have the Vikings who want to trade up and get a quarterback. So there's your 5. There's your 5.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. MacTown Dirty is here in the chat. What's up, fam? Big shout out to MacTown Dirty in the chat. Wallace Smith is in the chat. From what Raheem said, kind of hint at that we're probably going to draft an edge rusher in the first round and a cornerback in the second. Looking at the roster, looking at what needs to be field-wise as a starter, that cornerback position is big. The other night, I was listening to a podcast where a Falcon fan said even the kid from Iowa, Cooper DeJean, could be a guy that you might have to watch out for, right? A couple of players were just like, why would they go that route when technically they do need that position filled? But you can get that guy in the second round, I think. But I think the Falcons are moving in the direction right now, Terry, where they're going to go through the draft, and then after the draft, whatever is available, then they'll start making some moves to help out in that field.
I believe so.
I don't see a splash move right now. Terry, we've been on this podcast for a couple of days now where we've talked about the Falcons having made no move defensively.
Right.
And we kept hearing the rumors about them being in on Reddick. But now the rumors are it's over now. He's the Jet now. He's with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So for Falcon fans here in the chat, what is available when you're going to even in the let's go look at this, man. Because it's bad. It is bad what is available, what's left. Unless Terry makes some trades or stuff. But I think the money that they're going to use right now is to bring in their draft class.
Yeah. And in order to make any other moves, they'd have to restructure to make any other moves.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We're heading over to the share screen. It's going down in a major way. All right, man. Check out these eggs. Can you see what I see? Oh, y'all got some stuff blocking.
Yep.
All right, man. Who's available? Yeah, I'm looking at who's available. Carl Lawson. Big shout out to Carl Lawson too as well. He's a friend of mine, friend of the family. Randy Gregory, Yannick Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, which I think you would take your shot at.
Mm-hmm.
Some way, probably somehow, Calais, if he wants to come back and play. Huh?
Yeah. Probably Calais and Bud, maybe.
Calais. See what's here. Jaron Dalton, Bruce Irvin, Justin Houston, Kyle Walker, Joe Jones, Anthony Barr. Yeah, the only person I see on this list that can actually be a fit that fans want. I remember years ago fans wanted Yannick Ngakoue. I remember this. But then again, right now, I don't think it's the fit. Where's he at? 5.4.
I don't think he had a very profitable season last year. I don't think his season was great.
He's coming off 61% snaps, 4 sacks, 22 tackles. So, I mean, it's a route that you can look. It's a guy that's bringing in 4 sacks from last season. 61% of the snaps. I mean, he wasn't on the field like how he was in 2022 or even back in 2017 or 2018. So you're going to be having a heavy rotation. So maybe 61% of the snaps could work out for you too as well. Remember, that's how Campbell said. Remember, he said 60% of the snaps. And then he ended up playing damn near every damn down. But if you bring in Yannick, I don't think you're going to bring in Campbell or Bud. Like, you're going to have to make a decision on who's going to be because you're going to go edge in your draft too as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Falcons probably do go with the Dallas Turner, Latu, or Jared Verse type of move. And then you go look at Calais. And if not Calais, even Carl Lawson. Let's see what Carl Lawson's thinking about here. Carl Lawson's pretty decent. He's not too bad. 2024, 5.8. Let's see them stats, man. 2022, 7 sacks, 9% of the snaps last year. Wasn't he injured last year?
I believe he was.
61% of the snaps, 68, 5.57. Oh, well, I mean, not too big on that either, too, as well. So I'm looking at what the Falcons can do with their draft class first. Looking at this list, Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell is 2 names I wouldn't mind having back here in Atlanta because of the fact that they've done some decent things here in the city. And of course, for Falcon fans, it would be great to have 2 of those guys come back in the building with Raheem. But then again, you're forgetting about Zoe Carter still on the roster too as well. We're looking at Zach Harrison. What is he going to do this year too as well? What is Tyquan Graham going to do this season too as well? There's going to be a lot of people fighting for these starting positions coming up, but this draft class is going to be heavy on defense. Jeff Wolf said all bets off if Harrison dips or drips. I think he's talking about dips right there. Lisa Shepard. Yeah. Shout out to United. 3-0 dub. That's right. 3-0 today. Big shout out to Atlanta United over there. Who'd they beat? Chicago. Chicago just wasn't cut out for it today, man. It just wasn't cut out for it.
They played up in Chicago, did they not?
No, they played at the Benz. They was at the Benz tonight. Yeah. It was at home. It was at home. I was at the game.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Big shout to Pamela Johnson in the chat. She said, my pick at 8. It's Latu.
Are you taking Latu at 8?
Hold on now. Before you respond to Pam Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
this is Pam Johnson,
You've
Auntie
been
Pam,
right. Yeah.
who
No, I get
said
it. I get
Bijan,
it.
Bijan, Bijan. I want to give a big shout out to Pam Johnson too as well. I was scrolling the other night, and a lot of times I log out of Facebook, right? And I'm in Twitter. I might log out of Twitter. I might log out of all my social media sites and just focus on Discord or Reddit or something, right? So Auntie Pam, I was on Facebook the other night, and I saw that Auntie Pam was on a podcast, right?
Yeah,
So
she
big
was.
shout out to Auntie Pam. She was on the
Lady
Ladybirds,
AFN
Ladybirds at
with Miles
AFN.
Garrett.
Auntie Pam over there
Yeah. Yeah.
talking Falcons football.
She sure was.
Look at old Auntie Pam over
She
there.
sure was. She did a great
Football.
job. She did a
It's
great
great
job.
to see the ladies at AFN over there having a good job, a good time talking Falcons football, and more women in sports is what we need, y'all. Right? This is great when you have females that talk Falcons football and know what they talking about too, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they rep the brand. You feel what I'm saying? They rep the brand. Big shout out to Pam Johnson in the chat, but she's calling Latu. You better be careful. She called Bijan since February. Falcon fans, this lady right here called Bijan since February last year. She
but
called
at 8, Latu at 8.
That's the problem. Latu at 8. That's the problem I'm trying to face. Latu at 8 is like, well, where did Turner go?
Mm-hmm.
What? At least, what was the trade back even involved? I don't have no problem with Latu, but
me neither.
8,
but I think you can get him.
Is what I'm thinking.
I think you can get him at 11,
bro,
or 15.
I did a draft this morning, another mock. I love them mocks. They're pretty cool. Because right now the mocks are looking like the same picks in the first 3. And then it just switches up through 4 through 7. And then the Falcons show up. But then I love these mocks because once again, Latu on my mock this morning was between 15 and 25. And I'm thinking, if you really want Latu, Jimmy Lake. We rewarded Zach with Kurt. If we want to reward Jimmy Lake with Latu, a guy that he's familiar with, trade back and get those picks.
But imagine if you trade back and get another first round pick, or if you trade back and get a high second round pick, or whatever. So you now have that. You can, you've got your first round, you got 2 second rounds. You can turn that into maybe 2 rushers, or a rusher and a defensive tackle. Because there's a guy for Texas, D tackle. I think his name is Sweat. This guy is he's a monster.
Yeah, you're looking at late second round, third round. I done seen him slip to the third round. I done seen him get selected in the second round. But the draft that I did this morning, the mock, Terry, you should have seen the trades. You're gonna see these trades in a minute. Now I know it's a mock, I know it's a simulator, but some fans be like, "Oh shit, that could really happen. That'd be great." Terry, people were hitting me up on the mock. Like teams were like, "Look, I'm finna give you like 3 picks for that 8. Come, we're gonna spot the first, and take the second. I'll give you a future fourth."
And that's my point, right? Like 3 picks, especially this draft.
Yeah,
you give me 3 picks. I gotta at least think about it.
The cool thing is Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, the 3 wide receivers who can come off the board early, can easily affect the draft.
They can.
Because Marvin Harrison and then Joe Alt too as well. Because if Alt goes before 8, it's like, whoo, shit.
Joe Alt may be there.
I have Joe Alt going at like 10. Like
he 10, may be there.
15. But then some people has Joe Alt going like
it 6. It just depends on how desperate these quarterbackless teams are when it comes to it. Because again, it'd be different if 1, 2, and 3 didn't need quarterbacks. But for the most part, they do.
The Cardinals and the Chargers, what are they going to do?
Don't know.
Are they going to trade the pick? Do they want Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do they want Malik Neighbors? Some are saying Marvin Harrison Jr. is the first off the board. Some are saying Malik Neighbors is the first off the board. And then Falcon fans, you have to look at a couple things. And I don't want fans to get mad here. But it's very much possible that if Malik Neighbors in this list of, like Terry said, 4 or 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10, and then Malik Neighbors is thrown in there and Joe Alt is thrown in there, you might be sitting at 8 with Marvin Harrison on the board.
BPA. BPA. Now, and here's my question to you, right?
Jeff Wolf in the chat. Harrison drops. We have to take him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've talked about it the other day.
And that's my question to you, Jack. So you're at 8, right?
I think Harrison's a one roll, and I'm not switching what Drake London got going on right now for Marvin Harrison. I'm just not. I think we can build around what we did with Mooney. We paid Mooney a good amount. We got Rondale Moore too as well. We can draft wide receiver in the later rounds. I don't want fans to be upset. I just don't have Harrison on my Jack Spade on my list. It could be on T. Will's list. It could be on Sterling and Mactown Dirty.
He's not on my list because I don't think he'll be there. But if he is there, you're talking about.
If he's there and Dallas Turner's there, who you getting?
I honestly don't know.
I'm going Dallas Turner.
I understand we need an edge rusher, but you're talking about a Ferrari, and you're paying Alexis Price at pick 8 for that Ferrari. Like you're talking about a guy who runs routes very well, guy getting out of breaks very well, guy does not break speed at all. Look, and I'm gonna say this, and I love my dog fans, but if Harrison doesn't get hurt that year, we don't win that championship because we don't get past Ohio State. If Harrison does not get hurt, he was cooking us. Okay.
Here's the thing.
I don't see him making it, but if he does, that's a good question, man.
If I'm looking at the 5-year plan with Raheem, and this is just Jack Spade being Jack Spade. At the 5-year plan with Raheem. And this is part of the topics tonight. The topic was no Reddick. What are the Falcons going to do?
Right.
Wallace Smith, you're right on board with what we're saying right now because it's leading up to what we're talking about. I don't see them making any more moves in free agency until.
And I agree with Wallace, by the way.
If you look at the plan with Raheem Morris and you go draft the Marvin Harrison, I understand we have Kirk Cousins right now, and he can make Marvin Harrison great. Even Malik Neighbors great. Romeo Andaze too as well. But after Kirk Cousins, after this, in the next 2 or 3 years, when you still have this rookie wide receiver, you're probably going to go get a rookie quarterback, which is going to be this wide receiver going to his 3rd year. Versus that pass rusher now, I mean, he's going to be on the field, damn near every play. But that wide receiver is now going through 2 quarterbacks now in that 3rd year. So I don't know if the Falcons want to go through that type of move where I like when you draft your rookie and you draft the receiver with it, like your rookie quarterback, and then you draft the receiver near it. I love that move, right? Or if you have a quarterback who's in place, like let's just say Kurt is 31. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go Marvin Harrison. Got no problem. Kurt is 36.
Yeah.
We haven't made the moves on defense that we needed to make yet that fans are like, whoa, this is great. This is the defensive draft for our team, I think. You have to go get a defensive player at 8.
I would agree
with this offense.
I would agree with
you. You've rewarded this offense since the free agency opened, Terry.
Would agree with you.
Get me a defensive player at 8.
But Terry F. Baby has been BPA throughout his tenure with the Falcons. And if Harrison is there, now anybody else?
What is BPA for a wide receiver when Malik Neighbors is apparently getting more recognition right now than Harrison, where he might even be going first? We knew Bijan was the number 1 running back last year.
That's true.
BPA.
That's true.
Some would question Drake London's BPA situation because they're like, was Drake the best wide receiver? What happened there? But Kyle Pitts, obviously, coming out, he was BPA. I can see where the Falcons were going with that move. But I see what Arthur Smith was trying to set up. That was pretty cool because now we have these stars here, and now we're trying to build around that and then make it better. Which Kirk Cousins addition was pretty good. The Rondale Moore addition's pretty good. I understand CP left, but we're going to make some moves here in a minute. But Terry, Kirk Cousins, 30-something years old. You done did the Ray McLeod. What's the name? Ray move from San Fran.
Right.
You done did the Rondale Moore move. You re-signed Hodge. You went and got Mooney. You went and got Charlie Warner. You re-signed Nuzeel. You've made a lot of moves on offense, man.
Harrison is a Maserati.
Small moves. I'm with you on that.
He's a Maserati. And look, I'm not I'm not saying that I would, because quite candidly, I don't know. You know, because here's the thing, Jack. I never thought Harrison would be there, right? But the more I turn this thing over in my mind, if you got 5 quarterbacks selected and you're at 8, then that means either Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, or Joe Alt is going to be available at 8.
And those pass rushers. Because Latu should not be off the board before
And those
8.
pass rushers.
Verse will not be off the board before 8.
Right.
It's tough to see a Turner get off the board before 8, but you mentioned it. A lot of quarterbacks going in front of us. So that's why those 3 players would be sitting
right.
there at 8.
And that's what's going to determine it, right?
Yeah.
Because, again, Minnesota I think a lot of teams will try and trade with the Falcons either way. But I think the reward for what the Falcons will get could be higher if you still have a quarterback available at 8, right? You know, it just depends. If JJ's still available at 8, you probably see a trade, because you're going to have 3 or 4 teams that are going to be desperate at that point to make that trade, right? Whereas if those top 5 quarterbacks have gone already, maybe it's worth it for the Falcons to say, because we don't need a quarterback, and you probably, you got your pick of the litter. You got Joe out there. You got 3 pass rushers there. You probably got one of the 3 best receivers available.
MacTown Dirty in the chat said, "Do you think we still need a nose tackle?" Yes.
Yes.
Jimmy Lake mentioned that they're looking for that nose tackle. That was back in the press conference when they first signed Jimmy Lake. Big shout to Sterling Woods in the chat said, "Bud had the show." Calais in locker room for Jeff Wolf. Pam Johnson said, "Of course we trade back. Got to." Wallace Smith. Yes, we need a big nose tackle to plug the middle in our 3-4 base defense. He's talking about Falcon fans in the chat that know exactly what they're talking about. Diva CC, Sexy Red Peaches in the chat. If Romeo falls to 8, the Falcons should draft him a wide receiver.
There you go.
Right here too as well.
And that Dunzy, right?
Dunzy from Washington. But here's the thing. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Remember, they just mentioned the other day that Mooney's not really I'm not saying that he's not really, but he's not the number 2 yet, right? They're still, they don't know who is the number 2 yet,
right? Which means
that a wide receiver could fill.
That's true.
If Romeo's drafted at 8, that's your number 2. If Harrison is drafted at 8, that's your number 2. If Malik Neighbors is drafted at 8, that's your number 2. But if a guy is selected in the 4th round, like how they did with the guy with the Rams, or the 5th round, I don't think that's your Nakua. I don't think that's your number 2.
No, right.
So
correct.
There's a fighter's chance for Rondale Moore and Mooney to get that role. Correct. But the way they're going to work that 4th and 5th round wide receiver into the system, you should feel good about. Because Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris, the way they're talking right now, I'm just going to tell you how I feel like they're talking. They're not going to let us down on a lot of things this year. Like, they're going to try to make sure the fan base is excited, the team is winning. I know it's entertaining for most because it's entertainment business, but still, the team has to win. The product on the field has to be good. Raheem is talking not just talking the talk, he has to walk the walk. No, he is really putting this team together the way that they like it. I'm seeing a lot of similarities to the Super Bowl run team that we had in 2016. Just a couple of similarities, but especially when this draft is coming up, where we need some positions filled, and a lot of our rookies that we had on the team back in 2016 was a big part of that offense and defense to help us carry us to the Super Bowl. And this year you're sitting at 8. A couple of defensive players they've been talking about. Even in the 2nd round, you can get some guys. 3rd round, you can get some guys. I mean, if you're sitting at 21, 22, and you don't have a pick into the 3rd and 4th round, that's a different story. You're loaded up on picks right now. So it's like, that's why I'm cool with what Terry's doing. If they're not going to make no move until the draft and go get their guy, and then they're going to make some moves after, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm really talk about the colors until then.
I'm really excited about Sweat as a nose tackle. I think he's 6'4", 6'5", 342 pounds. I think he'd be a monster in between Grady, Onyemata, and everything else we got going on.
And you
You
have
add
fans.
that. What's
Terry, I
that?
don't want to cut you. I don't want to cut you off, but you have fans as you're mentioning Sweat. You have fans who say Sweat is not a good fit. Do you have fans that say watch the tape on Sweat? Remember we talked about this the other day with fans
Yeah,
in the room,
yeah,
and you got
yeah.
to separate them when they say this
hmm
person fits or this person fits. Everybody's gonna have their opinion on these guys. It's
hmm
what the Falcons see,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just saying, but Sweat,
I'm
from
just
what I've
telling
seen
you
on
what I like,
tape,
man. That
is a
boy's a beast.
monster. It's a
That boy's a
beast.
beast. That boy's a beast. And you add him and Dallas Turner. Oh man. Oh man. Hey, I'm excited about it. But that, like you say, that's me, right? That's me. Um, honestly, man, the more I think about this, it's wide open, Chad.
Mhm.
It's wide open, like because there's so many variables as to what could happen. Nobody could trade up. Yeah, right. Um, but I think it's going to be so much activity, right? That the Falcons may have their pick of the litter. They may.
It's very much so possible. I mean, the cool thing about it is BPA for Falcon fans. You should feel good about it. There's a lot of good names on the board at BPA. This is the
Yeah,
draft you're going to remember.
yeah.
You remember a lot of these names, and this goes for every team in the NFL because I'm looking at talent like, damn, some other team's going to get that guy, and that guy's pretty good.
Who's so can you tell me a little bit about Brandon Fisk?
Brandon
Out
Fisk,
of
we
Florida
had
State?
him out of Florida State. Big shout out to Thomas Scott too as well, Florida State guy. Thomas Scott's like, just draft all the Florida State players. He's from Florida State. But Brandon Fisk, I've seen him fall early in the second round. Most mocks I've seen him. Oh, good throwaway too. I'm watching the NFL Network. I've seen him probably hasn't got past maybe like 44, 45 in the second round. I haven't seen him drop tough. Like he's early day 2. He's early.
Okay.
For Falcon fans, that's a guy you can look at on your line too as well. You can say this guy fits the scheme. We drafted him twice in our mock the other day with Scott Caristic because he was there on the board. Other fans have us drafting this guy on their mocks too as well. When we do our mock here shortly, let's see if Fisk is on the board in the second round. You heard what Scott Caristic said. He's a plug and play type of guy. He is ready to go when you get Fisk out there. And plus his combine stats were phenomenal, right? So it's good to have a lot of people in the chat that is calling out later round picks too as well. Not just the first round picks. Call out the later round picks too as well. It's going to help us out here on One Time for the Fan. Pamela Johnson said, better not let Brock Bauer fall to 8. He's definitely going to fall to 8. I see him going after 8. He's going after 8.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, Pam, what are you? Why are you enticing me with all of these?
A Falcon fan. Don't forget she's sitting around wherever she is right now, probably sipping a little tea. Like, oh, let me talk some Falcons football with this gang. You know what I'm saying? These guys know what they're talking about.
These dishes, man. These dishes that are just delectable. They're just delicious. And it's like,
she's ready for the season, bro.
She's ready for me something else to think about. Oh boy.
It's good.
Can you imagine Brock Bowers and Kyle Pitts? Oh my God.
I can imagine it on Madden. I'll imagine it on Madden. Hey, I'll make a trade on Madden and make it happen. But Falcon fans,
can you imagine that?
It's great to see these Georgia players and a lot of these fan favorites in the draft. I just can't. I don't think Brock Bowers is a Falcon. He's a dog. Go Dogs.
Yeah,
I just don't see him as a Falcon. And there's a couple names that we can rule off the list. That's the cool thing about it, Terry. If you give us a list of first round names, we can actually rule off a bunch of names from the list. It's like, nah, I don't see that happening. But then you get to a group of names with like 10, and that's what happens with the show on Wednesday, where it's like, who are these guys? Why could they fit? And what could they do here in Atlanta? Mike was in the chat with the One Time. He's throwing around the fire emojis too. He's throwing around the fire emojis.
I hear that.
Big shout to everybody in the chat. Pam Johnson said this wide receiver group is very deep. My favorite wide receiver in the late rounds is Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky. He is a Deebo Samuel 2.0. Wait a minute. We're getting Deebo Samuels in the draft this year?
Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard that comp.
He's a beast. There's a lot of players you're like, man, these guys are going to be really good in the NFL. And, of course, the Falcons draft class with Terry and the gang are going to do a phenomenal job. Do not worry. Do not trip, Falcon fans. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button one time for the fan, talking Falcons football with the fans here in the chat too as well. Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, everywhere. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. It takes everybody here to tell a friend, tag a friend, all your Falcons friends. You know what I'm saying? Just get them here in the chat. We can talk some Falcons football together. Joseph Avery said, hey, fellas, what it be? Are all the good veteran edge rushers gone from free agency, which we just looked at pretty much? Pretty much. So what are we doing at 8? Cornerback or edge? Or we move back? Or move back for more picks. Go Falcons, rise up. And he's throwing emojis around too with the one time. It's cool when you got a podcast that you can use emojis to help support the podcast. You got the one and then the clock, and then people know about the football. We're talking Falcons football. So you got so many emojis you can throw around. The red and black emoji, them circles. You know how to do it, man.
Yeah, you do.
You know how to do it. I do think we do go cornerback this draft. I do think we go edge this draft. I do think we get a wide receiver this draft. I think we get another running back this draft. I think we get another offensive lineman this draft. And then we go back to the defensive side of the ball again. We get another edge rusher again this draft. And then we probably go get a safety this draft.
Yeah,
but you can't go wrong with none of these picks.
That's verbatim what I was thinking.
I just said more defensive players than offensive players.
Yeah. I think we got 8 picks, so 5 or 6 defensive players and maybe an offensive. Or you could do 5 and 3. Yeah, because like you said, you need a receiver, you need a running back, you need a offensive line.
And if you're looking at the comment right here from Diva CC, any of the top 3 wide receivers fall to 8, I wouldn't be mad. We do need an edge. So for Falcon fans in the chat, come back here Wednesday night, 8 p.m. as we're talking Falcons football, as we break down a lot of these prospects that could end up possibly here in Atlanta. Dallas Turner, Latu, Romeo, what's his name?
Marvin
Harrison Jr. Even Malik Neighbors will throw out there. Joe Alt will throw out there too as well. But we're forgetting that there's a guy named Keon Coleman from Florida State.
Love me Keon Coleman
too as well. Malachi Corley is a guy we've talked about too as well here on this channel when we had Scott Kurisic on. And then, of course, people are mentioning here in the chat. Theo Johnson, tight end. Later picks that the Falcons, you don't forget, Charlie Warner is your blocking tight end. Kyle Pitts might be playing more of the receiver role. And if you need another tight end, you got a guy named Theo Johnson from Penn State, man. He's also pretty decent that you can get in the late rounds too as well. Bodie 3000. Hold on. How did he get the phone? How did he get the phone?
Bodie
3000 in the chat. Bodie, where are you now? Somebody shining the bat light in the sky for Bodie. Bodie's traveling the world right now. Big shout out to Bodie. Said, Jack, you drunk if Marvin Harrison is there. You draft that dude. Bodie, you choosing violence in this chat tonight?
It looks like he is, sir. Looks like that choice has been made. But you have to consider it, Jack. I understand, right? Again, this guy is a Ferrari.
What's that Shannon Sharp gift?
This dude is a Ferrari.
Hey, man. Ferrari. But we playing in the Benz.
Hold on, man. So let me ask you
in the Benz. My man said, he said, this dude is a Ferrari.
Let me ask you a question, Jack.
But we playing in a Benz.
I understand, right? You're going to purchase a car. Rusher. You're going to purchase a car, right?
I'm trying to whip the Benz, man.
You're right. You're going to purchase You're trying to purchase right. You're trying to purchase a Benz, right?
Yeah.
And while you're on the lot, there's this customer who's trying to sell his Ferrari. He just got a divorce. He's got to go. He's leaving the country. So his $400,000 vehicle, he's going to sell to you for $80,000. You're not going to take it? You're not going to even consider it? You have to consider it. Because even if you don't drive it, you could probably resell it for twice what you bought it for. You'd have to consider it.
Consider it? Yes.
You'd have to consider it.
Yes, I'm not knocking it. A wide receiver at 8, I'm not knocking it.
Marvin Harrison
I'm
at
not
8.
knocking it. The cool thing about it is, yes, you can get Marvin Harrison at 8 if he's there. But unless you trade back up, you're missing Verse, you're missing Turner, you missed Latu. So now when it comes to your edge rusher, we haven't talked about that in the second and third round. We talked about wide receiver.
You're scoring 35 points a game, Jack. You're scoring 35 points a game.
And look,
you're running the score up.
Jack, you can't do this on Marvin Harrison. I'm looking at the team.
You're
just looking at the team, and I'm saying it's got to be defensive.
Jack, let's look at this. You got Drake.
Just don't let Harrison go to the Saints.
You got exactly. Exactly. Jack, you got Drake on one side. You got Harrison on the other. Yeah. Right? You got Kyle. You got Bijan. Oh my God.
Oh man.
You got Moody. Who are you gonna double cover?
So if it happens, like I said, as a fan, and you know this, Terry, and as a believer, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm looking at the team. Jack Spade, thinking as a fan, I want that defensive pick.
I do too.
Or you're trading back and you're getting defensive pick. That's all I'm saying. If you get wide receiver, I'm like,
all right.
I'm like,
let me put it to you like this, right? Let me put it to you like this. You have set up a date. You're in high school. I use a lot of high school analogies. People can relate. You set up a date, right?
With a pretty girl.
This girl, and you guys are going to prom, and she's great. She's great. But the head cheerleader on the football team, who's beautiful.
She's been eyeballing me for years.
Who has no flaws, because she knows you can throw Eddie on the run, right? See what I did there?
And
I know.
I dropped 75 in a.
And you dropped 75 that one time. Exactly, right? The legend grows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she comes to you and she says, hey, I was wondering if you had a date to the prom. What are you doing, Jack Spade?
Shit, man. I'm gonna stay loyal, man. Gotta stay loyal, man. Can't even do it, man. Gotta stay loyal, you know. I've already got a date, you know what I'm saying? Can't slip up. But yeah, how it goes with the Falcons and these players, we're not gonna be upset. Terry, you're not upset if they select the edge rusher, and I'm not upset if they select the wide receiver.
I'm not.
We're gonna talk about every single player and how they can impact this team and how they can make things work here in Atlanta. Chat is live. Chat is lit. Antonio Starks is in the chat. Crimson Huntsman is in the chat. Lisa Shepard is also in the chat. I don't know, y'all. Going offense in the first round 4 years in a row. Not sure that goes over well given our defensive needs.
It probably doesn't. It probably doesn't, right? And again, I'm not saying whether they should or should not do it. I'm saying I did not think Harrison was going to be there at 8.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think, but if Harrison is there at 8, I got to at least think about it, Jack. I got to at least think about it. Like that's a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. You know, but you'd have to ask yourself, what is the ceiling for Turner versus the ceiling for Harrison?
At this point in time, we're not going to be Miss Cleo. We can get my magic ball and you know what I'm saying? What we're going to say is we're going to trust in Terry and Raheem to make sure whatever players they brought over here. Remember when Deion Jones was drafted and Devondre Campbell and all these players that helped us, you know, build what we had back in the past and made everything look good. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. We're going to trust that the organization is going to get it right. The good thing about it is we just mentioned it. There's a bunch of talent in this draft.
Really
we mean it. From the first round to the last round. Mr. Irrelevant is even going to be scoring touchdowns this year. Everybody's going to be contributing to whatever team they're on, except for whoever the Saints, Panthers, and Bucks draft, because they all just stuck. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button in the chat. Bam Stewart is in the chat. He said, hit that like button, y'all. Dirty Bird fan since Jerry Glanville.
Love it, Bam. I love it, Bam.
Miami.
I love it, Bam.
M-I-A-Yo.
I love it.
305 MIAO.
Bam said too legit to quit.
Big shout out to Bam in the chat. Falcon fan, we're getting ready to do this mock. But before we do want to give a shout out quickly to somebody who doesn't really get much shout outs here on the channel. And I know Falcon fans probably have heard the news, seen the report, or you probably follow the greatest NFL mascot there is, Freddie the Falcon. I want to give a big shout out to Freddie the Falcon, 2024 NFL Mascot of the Year, 2024 NFL Mascot Video of the Year, and 2024 NFL Mascot Blooper of the Year. Yes, one time for the fan is so deep and so real about this Atlanta Falcons team that we're giving a shout out to the goddamn mascot. Big shout out to Freddie the Falcon. He's on the got a picture with the trophy and everything. It looks pretty cool. Big shout out to Freddie the Falcon.
Yeah, way to do those drops from the ceiling, Freddie.
Freddie has stepped it up to a whole new level. Now people keep talking about this Jaguar mascot, and that he ain't got nothing on what.
Got nothing on Freddie.
And you should see.
You don't want to see Freddie
in the NFL. It is embarrassing.
He does not want the smoke, sir. He does
Freddie
not.
The Falcon is a real deal mascot. So this
shout out
goes out to Freddie the Falcon. Once again, he has won some awards. And this picture that he took, he's really enjoying it. I'm sure he's on vacation right now, enjoying his awards.
Life, living his best life.
He's probably doing it. He's probably doing it. He's on video too as well a couple days ago. Once again, being good old Freddie. Maybe we can get Freddie on the podcast and hopefully he'll
be something.
Say something.
He's got to have mask on, right?
He's definitely gonna have mask on. Now I know some of us may know who it is, and some of us don't know who it is. But if you do know who it is, do not say nothing.
Please
don't.
Nothing.
Like
that'd be like telling on Batman or Superman. They got secret identities for a reason.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like, hey, Batman's over there. Like, hey, what you about to go do? Kick some ass? All right, cool. So, got to ride with you? I ain't gonna tell nobody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go kick some ass too. But what you go out there talking about? Nah, no Batman.
Let's go.
Let's not do that. Freddie the Falcon is one of the greatest mascots in the NFL. And of course, for your Atlanta Falcons, he is the 24 NFL mascot of the year. So that's good when you got Freddie the Falcon repping the way he does. You got Diva CC repping the way that she does. You got Bernard in the chat repping the way that he does. And of course, you got Pam Johnson in the chat. Look at these Falcon fans in the chat that is here to talk Falcons football. Once again, these ain't no bots. Right? These are real deal Atlanta Falcons fans talking Falcons football. LaMarcus Boyd, one time for the fan, diehard Atlanta Falcons fan, who's in Arizona, who does a great job not only with the Rise Up tour, but he does a great job representing the Atlanta Falcons as a diehard super fan. And there's some diehard fans, and there's some super fans. And if you're going on the road this year, Falcon fans, to any away games, man, look what you want to do. You definitely want to sign up for the Rise Up tour. We're going to Vegas this year. We're going to Denver this year. We're going to Washington this year. We're going to Minnesota this year. And then we got the division rival games. Some of these events and stuff that we're planning and putting on for y'all. We've been doing this for 6 years. You got to hit that like, share, and subscribe button for the channel. But head on over to the Rise Up tour. Grab your membership today. It's going down in a major way. Now, let's get to some mocking.
Let's do it.
Let's mock it up. Let's mock it up quickly. Now, chat, you're going to be live. Chat, you're going to be lit because I already know how the chat is. It's mock time.
It's mock
time. Bodie's supposed to play the music. Yeah, Bodie's supposed to play the music, but he's just not here. Let's see here. Falcons. We're going to keep it fast. We're going to do 7 rounds. Look at all these bums in the NFC. Into the solo draft.
Bums.
All right, off the board quickly. Damn, that was quick. So,
pick 10, pick 72, pick 111. So you go from 8 picks to 10 picks.
Oh my gosh.
What are we thinking, sir? What are we thinking?
My gosh. On the first move in the mock.
I do it.
First. I just hit the button and started the mock, and this is what we got already. And then we have another offer too as well.
Let's look at the next offer.
Here's the problem. We talked about we wouldn't do this mock without we wasn't going to trade.
3 picks though.
That now I'm looking like, forget this. We might have to trade.
You might. We're gonna have to. Let's see the next offer.
Yo, this is
What
crazy.
we got next?
Denver's giving us the 12th.
I don't want that.
No,
I don't want
what's
that.
this?
No, Bupkis.
No, we're good.
No.
We're good.
Besides, Sean Payton. I don't want to make it easier for him anyway. Whatever. Kick rock, Sean. I'd
man,
like to do this.
Falcon fans in the chat. This is the problem. Jesus, we just talked about we didn't want to do the trade, and then the Jets come with this mega offer after they got rid.
Yeah.
If we trade with the Jets and they go Dallas Turner, we would not care because we wouldn't play the Jets until we see them in the Super Bowl.
Amen.
If they make it to the Super Bowl. So we don't play them this year too as well. So it's technically they can build whatever roster they want. Do we want to make this trade, Terry, where we're picking up the 10th pick from we're going to swap, and then that 72 and that 111? They don't want nothing else from us.
Who's available? Who's available now? Where we are? Who's available? Can we see? So
Caleb's gone. Jaden's gone.
Like we said, Harrison.
Drake is gone. Marvin Harrison. Once again, that Arizona pick was the same thing I was saying. Here's the one that I keep seeing pop up. Fashanu popping up in the top 10 with the Chargers, where Hallbarg is like, you know what? Nah, we're going with offensive linemen here. We're finna shake some things up. We're not even going to take Joe Alt. We're taking Fashanu from Penn State. We're going to shake it up. I keep seeing that. This is big here, Falcon fans. Joe Alt going 6. Remember, we talked about that. That Alt may even be off the board. Now, fans, the Jets are not moving into 8 to go get a quarterback. I know if I make this trade right now, Lisa Shepard said I would make that trade. Jeff Wolf said trade. MacTown Dirty said do the damn thing.
They want.
Antonio, what we want to do? You give the fans what they want.
Give the people what they want, Jack. The customer is right in this case.
We're going to make the trade with the Jets for 10, 72, and 12. We're only swapping 2 picks here, and then they're going to give us a boatload. First of all, I'm going to text my Jets friend and show him this. He's going to be like, F you. He's going to be like, F you. Do not text me ever again. Matter of fact,
ever in life.
I want to send him a picture of this right now. He's gonna be like, no way.
No
way. You got that. Yeah, I'm going to send him right now. I'm going to tag him. He's a Mets fan. He's a Jets fan, and he's gonna look at this pick. He's oh, there he is. He already looked at it. Hold on. Tune into the podcast now. Do it right now, you Jets fan. He said, "Nah, it ain't gonna happen." He said, "Not happening." Jets fan already. I can tell him turn to the podcast right now. He's going to be joining the chat. Look for a Jets fan in the chat in a couple minutes, y'all. We're going to accept this trade. We're going to accept the trade. Thank you, Jets. We're going to accept the trade. They went J.J. McCarthy. They went and got the backup. Now we go to the comments from the GM. Go to the comments of the Jets GM that said, we need a backup quarterback.
Wow.
They said it. On NFL Honors, the Jets GM said on national TV with the great Aaron Rodgers that they need to look at a backup quarterback. And they traded with us in this mock to go get J.J. McCarthy. And then our guy, who we probably would have selected at 8, went to the Bears at 9, Dallas Turner. Now we sit at 10 on the board. We have traded back. We have collected the Jets' 10th pick, 72nd pick, and the 111th pick. 3 for 1. The Jets, they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some fans are going to give you... What did we talk about the other day, Falcon fans? Denver was going to offer us 2 picks that wasn't going to mean nothing to us when the Jets just gave us 3 picks when most of those players are going to be doing something for us.
Yep.
We took the Jets offer. I told fans that the other day. If somebody's offering you 2 and it might look great and somebody's offering you 4 and it looks good, I'm taking the 4.
Great brands at great price.
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know. Is Verse there? Is Verse still there?
They're going to. Jared Verse, of course he's here.
So you got Verse. You still got Latu. I mean, what do you want to do? Wait, is there another trade offer? Is there another trade offer?
So because this is a mock draft, there is definitely another trade offer. Now the 49ers are saying, hey, bruh, We like that number 10 real bad. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, we're
I'm
finna
not
give
going
up
back to
a
31.
whole lot to get it. Well, we have a second offer too
Yeah,
as well. The Jags want to swap. We're not going as far back as 17. The
I'm
Falcons
not
ain't
doing
making
that.
2 trades. We're not doing that.
I'm not
Oh
doing
my
that.
God.
No, I'm not doing that either. I'm not doing that either. I'm not
Okay.
even doing that.
Okay.
That's not even in the first round. Why would you do that? Like, that's come on, man.
Oh God. Oh shit, the Carolina Panthers. Oh
Yeah,
my God. The Carolina Panthers. You want to
yeah,
get in
I'm
the
not
top
doing that.
10. You missed the first round that bad.
Yeah, but they don't even, bro. What are we getting? Like for that, you'd have to
Bryce.
give me a player. You'd
You
have to
gave it
trade
up
me
for
a player
Bryce.
with it.
You gave it up for Bryce.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
And
you
now the
did.
year later, you trying to trade with your rival to move in the top 10?
Yeah.
Reject your ass. I'm rejecting
Amen.
you, Carolina.
I'm rejecting San Francisco too. I'm not going in
Matter of
31st.
fact, you block. Carolina gonna did they switch their number? Y'all got the email? Y'all got the email? Server down. Kyle Shanahan? No.
Jacksonville, no.
Ain't no reason for no. I'm staying at 10. Falcon fans gonna get what they
All
want
right.
tonight.
So you got Latu, you got Verse, you got Malik Neighbors.
We're going defense. Latu is there. Jared Verse is there. Latu and Jared Verse is on the board. Falcon fans, you have traded back. You have gained some value from the New York Jets. You're going to get a guy who's on the field day one. Terry, are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable with Verse, but Latu is that dude, man. I'm taking Latu at 10. Latu is that dude.
Falcon
For
fans,
me.
hit that like, share, and subscribe button. One time for the fans. 2.0 mock. We're going to go with Latu at number 10. We did trade back with the Jets. Latu would be our first pick off the board. We ain't going to hold y'all up all night here. And we're going to talk about this again on the channel Wednesday. Now, you're looking at another trade offer here going into the second round with what the Falcons need at 43. I am staying at 43. I am not trading that pick. And then to move back to 61, you're missing too much defensive talent in that second round early. That can really help you out. CC's in the chat. She said, take Latu. Jeff Wolf said, Verse. Crimson is in the chat, said Latu. Fans are in the chat. Pamela Johnson said Latu, right? Jared Red Swarm in the chat said Verse. Let me tell you something. For fans in the chat that wanted their player, I'm not against Verse. I'm not against him. I'm not against Dallas Turner or any of these players. I'm just going with what I see scheme fit and what I see relationship wise. When Raheem mentioned the other day about being with Kirk Cousins back in Washington, and then the relationships of him being in LA and bringing over Zach Robinson and some of the other coaches from the coaching staff and keep talking about that Washington system and Shanahan. And it's just too much when it's like you can pair Latu with Robinson with Jimmy Lake, right? Like Robinson got his guy. He got his quarterback, elite processor. You said it. You got him. Now Jimmy Lake is like, hey, give me my guy.
Yeah.
Let's take the tops off these defenses. And we got Jesse Bates. We got AJ Terrell. We're going to do some crazy shit this year, but we're going to go ahead and start going crazy on defense. And we need to do it with a guy like Latu. So big shout out to Sterling Woods in the chat. Big shout out to everybody in the chat who's calling out players. We're going to get through this together, y'all. We're going to get through this together. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button as we're doing our mock. One time for the fan 2.0 mock. Cooper DeJean, that's crazy to see him go a pick right before me because guess what, Terry? I probably was going to select him at 43.
Yeah.
But we'll
Is Sweat there?
Nope. Sweat went before us at 38 to the Texans. Which, honestly, it's set on fast. So if it was on normal or slow, I probably would have made a proposed trade to move up and get Sweat at 38. They've done it in the past with Arnold Ebiketie. They wanted a guy. They go get their guy. Do not think the Falcons will not move in the second round to go get a guy that they want. You saw they did it with Arnold, and fans were like, Arnold Ebiketie. But now, look at Arnold now. Now you want him on the field more.
Yeah. All right, so who are we looking at here? What are we thinking?
So from Latu, Arnold from Alabama, Malik Neighbors going 10 through 15 now. He goes to the Broncos at 12. So the Broncos getting their wide receiver. Maybe they're probably going to get their quarterback as we keep skimming through this here. Brock Bowers going to the Colts. Quinyon Mitchell going to the Seahawks. All these players are some of the ones that we mentioned is going to be in this range. Jared Verse, we said it, 10 through 20, right? Quinyon Mitchell, same thing. We did the draft the other day where we traded back and was able to get 2 players. Oh, no. The Falcons did the draft. Tori McElhaney did a draft where she was able to get 2 players, Verse and Quinyon Mitchell, with the trade that they made. And looking at the number here, she could have got Verse in that trade back. And Quinyon, where'd he go? He went before? He went 16. So it would have been tough to get both of those on this mock. But you at least would have came away with one of the 2. And then in your later pick, maybe would have got a Nate Wiggins from Clemson. Chop Robinson is another name too as well that Falcon fans have keep talking about. Look at Bo Nix going to the Vikings at 23.
I think that's a reach. I really thought Bo Nix would go second round. So
wide receiver, heavy, second round. Lab McConkey, Macaulay Corley going early in the second round. Sweat going early in the second round. Now the Falcons sit here. Terry, you got your edge rusher. We got Latu. As I move around here, and Falcon fans are in the chat going crazy. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. I'm going around to the defensive tackles here, right? He's still on the board. We talked about this guy a couple minutes ago from Florida State. We missed out on Sweat. Michael Hogg Jr., decent defensive tackle. But the numbers that I just saw at the combine, Terry, please look into some tape on this guy right here, Brandon Fisk.
All right.
If not Brandon Fisk, Falcon fans, we can go corner. Now, TJ Tampa is a guy that Falcon fans like as well. A lot of Dog fans in the chat saying you got to go Lassiter. Lassiter's done a great job too as well being in Georgia. But this guy, Max Melton from Rutgers, has been on a bunch of Falcons draft boards, and not in the second round, in the third. On this mock, we will see if he moves up. Don't forget, we have another pick coming up at 72. So, Falcon fans, are you comfortable with this mock that we've taken Latu at 1? We're going to go Braden Fisk at 2. We're going to go interior defensive end. Remember, we ain't touched the defense, all free agency.
Yeah.
Do you want us to go after Brandon Fisk right now? So now you're going to get a nose tackle here. You're going to get a edge rusher here. Now you're getting 2 pieces out of the way that you need to help fill your defense.
Didn't somebody mention McKinney Jackson tonight in this chat? I think they did.
So McKinney Jackson from Texas A&M, from what I've seen on mocks and just what he's projected, is a late third going as the 4th.
Okay.
From what I've seen. And these are some of the names that are standouts because for Falcon fans, you're looking at guys who are in the later rounds, and these names have been called multiple times and they've been seen on multiple mocks. Running back, we're not going to go. Here's the easiest thing. We're in the second round here. Let's take away what we don't need, and it makes it easier for us.
There you go.
We're not going quarterback in the second round.
Nope.
Not going running back in the second round.
Nope.
I'm not going tight end in the second round.
Nope.
I'm not going tackle, guard, or center in the second round. Go to defense. I already got my edge. I'm not going linebacker in the second round. I may go corner right here.
Okay.
Safety,
or
no.
D-tackle.
Defensive, possibly. So D tackle, corner, and wide receiver for our second round. Let's go to wide receiver. Jalen Polk. Oh my God, Xavier Leggett. So we already know if I don't select Leggett right here, he's gone on the next round if we skip. Once we skip it, he's gone. Falcon fans are going to sit here and get mad at me if I do not select a wide receiver in the second round, especially if it's Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. He has been climbing up the draft boards. This kid is phenomenal. Terry, it's wide receiver, it's defensive tackle, and it's corner. What are you more so looking at?
Me personally, I'm looking at D tackle because Grady and Onyemata are a little older, and I know you got Graham, and I know you got, but I feel like you need an infusion of youth on that line. So I'd love to get a shiny, brand new defensive tackle to go with my shiny, brand new defense. Those are my thoughts. What are yours?
Falcon fans, I'm looking at the first couple rounds. Don't forget the past couple years. I just missed out on a couple defensive players that is doing phenomenal things in the NFL. And in a draft where you need some key defensive players to help build your team right now, because we didn't get most of the star talent on defense this year. Our goal was to help rebuild the offense, to continue moving the chains, to continue scoring the points so we can put up numbers, so that way it makes it difficult for teams to come back on us, because we do have a defense that is actually pretty decent. Like they're not bums. The Falcons defense is nowhere near that. Like we're a top 15 defense, and we're going to be that with these new additional pieces. But I have to think about what Jimmy Lake is talking about and how they're trying to rebuild this 3-4. I have to go get me a guy in that middle. I'm going Braden Fisk in the middle from Florida State.
Do it. Braden Fisk. There you go.
I'm going Braden Fisk in the middle from Florida State. And, of course, Xavier Legend went off the board right after us, too, as well. 72 with Minnesota, trade offer. I'm not doing that because we're moving along in this draft tonight. I went Braden Fisk right here in this draft, Falcon fans, with the second pick. Now we got your edge. You got your nose tackle. Now let's look at what else is needed. Yes, Falcon fans are going to say, we need a wide receiver. But if you look at how they attacked the wide receiver in the off season with trading for Rondale Moore, bringing in Mooney and Ray McLeod, I'm going to look at a cornerback position at your third pick. The problem is, Jesus Christ, Max Milton is gone. So, going over the cornerback position here. At pick number 3. Matter of fact, we'll help Falcon fans out. Let's go to the wide receiver position and see who's still available.
Luke McCaffrey.
Luke McCaffrey's fallen. He's definitely. I can get him in the next round too as well. Where the Rams get Nakua? 4th or 5th?
I think 5th.
5th. Shippy, Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen. Wait, is that the guy we were talking about?
Mm-hmm. Braylon Allen's the running back from Wisconsin.
Yeah, but he's the one we were talking about that's big, right?
Yeah, the 6'2", 6'3", 240 guy.
Yeah, I like him.
I swear he'll probably be on the board if we go around one more time. He'll probably still be on the board. Matter of fact, he might even drop to 5th and 6th round. We already went edge. We went inside nose tackle. I'm looking at the cornerback situation right now, Falcon fans, in the 3rd round. I'm looking at the Falcons cornerback situation in the 3rd round. And I'm thinking to myself, Kyrie Jackson is there, but he's going to be, damn. It's a reach if I go get Kyrie right now. Much of a reach. Terry, team needs edge, cornerback, wide receiver, defensive tackle, safety. If we go to safety, where's my boy? You got Javon Bullard in there still from Georgia. You got Tyke Smith in there from Georgia. Okay. Let's go shake the edge again. Austin Booker. So we're not going edge. Let's shake defensive tackle again. McKinley Jackson's going to be there at the end. Let's go linebacker. I don't see us attacking that early. Got Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in there. Safeties, nope. Corners. It's between corner and wide receiver, Terry. How are you feeling? Roman Wilson from Washington, from Michigan. That's a good guy right there.
I feel good about receiver.
Receiver in the 3rd round?
I feel good about receiver, yeah. How are you feeling?
Right now, looking at my team, I'm excited about the first 2 picks I made. A 3rd round wide receiver I can definitely see on the field this year for the Falcons, especially when you have a guy such as Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. Sweat is off the board for fans in the chat asking about Sweat. Roman Wilson, a lot of chat comments in the chat here about Roman Wilson. Big shout out to Marina, also in the chat too as well. Red Swarm said, let's see, I get Red Swarm's comment. He said, number 1 is edge, 2 is cornerback, 3 is wide receiver, 4 is D tackle. Well, we still going over the team needs. We just switched it around a little bit. We went edge first, and we went D tackle too. Now we're looking at it to see where we can go with this next pick. I'm looking at wide receiver. Red Swarm, we're still on the same page though. I mean, we're calling out the same things that we need. We're just swapping around on different rounds.
Yep.
But fans here in the chat, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. The wide receiver group, man, Roman Wilson, Jermaine Burton, Jamari Thrash too as well, Brandon Rice, Luke McCaffrey, who'll be there in the later rounds too as well. And that's it. Falcon fans, if you're going with somebody, we missed out on Leggett. Where'd he go? Kamari Lassiter went there. Michael Hall went to the Bucks. Yeah, TJ Tampa went to the Steelers. Michael Penix went 47 to the Giants. No mummies. Oh, went to the Bengals. So, I got to go wide receiver right here, bro.
Let's do it.
Go wide receiver this thing, bro. I got to go Roman Wilson, man. Roman Wilson from Michigan's in the building. Cleveland Browns is on the clock. They want to get us to the trade. The answer is no. The Bengals want to trade. The answer is no. Don't forget, at the Roman Wilson, remember we had our original pick. That pick that we had before came from the Jets. So big shout out to the Jets. Guess what? We're back on the board. Bet you guys forgot about that one.
Yep.
Bet you guys forgot about that one. We are back on the board.
Now you can go look at a corner.
We are back on the board. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Red Swarm is in the chat. Big shout out to Red Swarm. He said, Jack Spade, we have to take a cornerback with our second round pick. The value of this position group is in the first 2 rounds. There is a big drop off after rounds 1 and 2 for corner. That is true. Looking at the defense, looking at the cornerback room right now that you have left. I mean, DJ James from Auburn wasn't a flashy guy that fans would be talking about. Kyrie Jackson from Oregon isn't a guy that, of course, fans in the chat would be, oh my God, he's going to be our starter, XYZ. I mean, he's going to be fighting for a position out there. Cam Hart too as well. And a couple of these guys are reaches at this position where we're at. And that's where Red Swarm's comments come from, where if you look at the cornerbacks that were available in the early rounds, then you go and get a edge rusher first, and then you go and get a cornerback second. So that way you can take care of the 2 BPAs. Because right now on this board, some fans would say there's not too many BPAs at cornerback. You don't know much about Chris Abrams-Drain. You don't know much about DJ James. You don't know much about Josh Newton from TCU. DJ James, DJ James. God, I'm going to miss out on this if I select DJ James, and fans are going to be like, what? Falcon fans in that chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Some fans say, let's look at quarterback. Terry. Well, 4th round, Falcons did mention that Taylor is going to be competing
for the backup,
for that QB2 role.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Rattler is right there on the board. Jordan Travis is right there on the board. But Falcon fans, if we're taking a quarterback at 4, maybe we can get a position we need, because another guy who a lot of fans have been heavy on, Joe Milton. A lot of fans were like, yo, you might have to get this guy in the 5th or 6th round. Like, Joe Milton is a solid piece that can, put a little quarterback competition battle with Taylor for that backup spot. Right? I mean, we saw his combine. It was a decent combine too as well.
What are his weaknesses?
Possessions of rocket launcher. His weaknesses, which, let's go with what Mike Tomlin said. He did a podcast where he mentioned about draft evals and how people mention, the flaws in these players. And Mike Tomlin had pretty much said, well, that's where coaching comes in.
Yeah, you got to coach him up.
You got to coach him up. So that's why sometimes he laughs at some of these draft evals, because as a coach, like Mike Tomlin said, I mean, he's a great coach too as well. He sees, opportunities for a lot of these players, and he looks at a draft eval like, oh, I'll fix that.
Yep.
Physically lacks NFL caliber, field vision, processing, and anticipation. That's a rookie quarterback for you. Situational precision on short rack throws and slants can be erratic, forcing adjustments. I might get a little antsy throwing the ball every now and then. I mean, these kids coming out of college, man. They haven't even got the development in the NFL yet, right? But the cool thing about it is, even drafting a guy like Joe Milton, he's going to be in a room with Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson and a lot of these, people that can assist this guy. quarterback whisperers that can help this guy. They've been around Kirk Cousins. They've been around Matthew Stafford. They've been around pocket passing quarterbacks, and they could turn Joe Milton into something else. I'm just going to hold off on Joe Milton for right now. This running back now in the 4th round. Let's look at running back. Can't even think about Cam Hart in the later rounds. You got Bijan. You got Tyler.
You need a bruiser.
Right?
Braylon Allen.
Not much of a reach to go up a couple picks to grab a guy. Has elite overall size and will just be 20 years old as an NFL rookie. Can easily absorb and bounce off solo hits with his tightly packed midsection. High-level goal line back with his size and mass, and can plow through the trenches.
There you go.
Falcon fans, I'm just going to go with this running 3rd and goal, 2nd and 1.
Line. There you go.
Line them up, and they're looking around at this guy who is 6'1". What he got him at? It's supposed to be 6'2", but 6'2", 240 pretty much with cleats. We're going Braylon Allen with that another pick.
Love it.
I had to, Falcon fans. I had to. I'm getting some defensive players. I'm getting some offensive players. And we're back on the board again. Now let's go to that defense, man. Let's go to the cornerback room. Falcon fans in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Cornerback Mike out of Michigan is nasty. Anthony White said, I'm not drafting a running back until at least the 6th round. They got to draft defense really heavy. Falcon fans in the chat. Nathan Floyd said, just got here. What have been the picks? Going over here to these picks. Right now, we got Latu, the 1st pick. Then we got Braden Fisk with the 2nd pick. Wide receiver Roman Wilson with the 3rd pick. And running back Braylon Allen with the 4th pick. And as we get ready to start wrapping up this draft over here, but let's look back at the defensive side of the ball for fans in the chat. Travis Taylor's in the chat. He said, I will take Jordan Travis in the 4th round. So you got fans here voicing their opinion about quarterbacks, about running backs, about safeties. Just a lot of what, the Falcons are preparing for when it comes to draft night. Diva CC said he can be our Taysom Hill. Jordan Travis for Pam Johnson here in the chat. Spencer Rattler for Pam Johnson here in the chat. I mean, Lab McConkey's name has been brought up here in the chat too as well. Pam Johnson said Chris Drain too as well, the cornerback. So fans here in the chat are excited not only about the mock, but just to see what players are available. Nathan Floyd is in the chat. He said we need a CB. So we're going to go over the CB here.
Okay.
Terry, I know we're going to get your homework in this week on a lot of these draft picks, a lot of these players in the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, and so forth. The Falcons right now in our mock, there's some cornerbacks available. A lot of these guys will be walk-ons. But if you're going to get one off the board right now, Kyrie Jackson from Oregon is the guy I'll be looking at too as well.
Well, Kyrie Jackson it is.
If not Kyrie Jackson, I mean Chris Abrams-Drain, 5'11", 179, effortless accelerator who flashes elite explosive capacity, tracking receivers upfield, can use his short area twitch. Now, not saying that this guy is going to be the starter because we need a cornerback too. Maybe however they work it with Clark Phillips, maybe however they work it with D. Alford, maybe however they get ready to start working it with the offseason after the draft, bringing in a guy. If we didn't hit on a guy like cornerback in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, we can still hit on him now. That's the good thing about a mock draft, right? So for Falcon fans in the chat, Chris Abrams-Drain, solid player, and we do need a cornerback right here on the draft. Terry, the next pick would definitely be for you right here. I'm looking at a couple of these players trying to fill what I need. Not saying that he's going to be the starter, but Chris Abrams, man, bring him to Atlanta. Bring the boy to Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta, Chris.
Going to our picks now. Latu, Braden Fisk, Roman Wilson, Braylon Allen, and Chris Abrams. We've now attacked the edge, the defensive tackle, the wide receiver, the running back, and the cornerback. Terry, we still got some more picks because we have done a great job tonight. What you looking at, Terry?
Well, maybe an offensive lineman, maybe a safety.
Attacking these offensive linemen. Looking at the safety room. Let's look at all. Let's see who's on the board. Jermaine Burton. Jaden Hicks. Safety from Washington State. Jalen Wright. Brandon Coleman. Brandon Coleman from TCU. Offensive guard. You trying to build up a little bit of depth here too as well. Kyrie Jackson's still on the board too as well. Jordan Jefferson from LSU on the board too as well. Cam Hart, cornerback. Right now in the top 100, I mean, you're looking at player split. You got wide receiver right here on the board still as well, Terry. You got defensive tackle, offensive tackle, safety, linebacker. On the defensive side of the ball, what have we attacked? The edge. Let's go back to some more edge, man. Can't go wrong with enough edge rushers. Brandon Jackson is the guy that we selected in the later rounds, Terry. Just want to be clear with you on that one. Defensive tackle. Safety or Milton? Oh, Terry's over. Oh, Terry got kicked out. Terry, you there?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Oh, you go. Perfect. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I went back to the share screen. I was like, where the hell Terry go?
It dropped. Yeah. I'm back though. I'm back. Guess who's back?
Defensive tackle, edge. Terry.
I wouldn't mind going edge again.
Wilson. Can't go wrong with another edge rusher. Jonah Ellis from Utah. Xavier Thomas from Clemson. Brennan Jackson is a guy that I've drafted before. Great grade on him too as well. But he's more, where are we at right now? 111? It's a bit of a reach for that guy. It's a bit of a reach. Let's look at the safety room over here. Jaden Hicks from Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
Third-year safety, 6'3", 202. This is kind of like your DeMarco Helms right here.
Yeah.
Like he's another one of those thumpers. He gets down after it into the box too as well. I mean, he's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be all over the field, Jaden Hicks. A safety might want to look at right here, Terry.
Let's do it.
Let's look at Jaden Hicks, man. Let's bring in Jaden Hicks. Now we got a safety in the room too as well, Falcon fans. Oh, man, we got so many picks. We're back-to-back. Did you forget about that? Remember the Jets? They gave us this pick.
That was a great trade we made.
The Jets gave us this pick. So for Falcon fans who said accept the trade, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, if you look at the running back room right now, we have about 3 or 4 with Avery Williams. If you're looking at the draft pick that we just made, the quarterback room now, we still have 2 quarterbacks. We still have 2 quarterbacks in the room. If we're going quarterback here in this late round,
Joe Milton is still there.
Jordan Travis from Florida State is still here too as well, who was potentially getting ready to be the Heisman before his injury. Fans in the chat, are you comfortable with a quarterback right now? Red Swarm said take Jaden Hicks. Oh, yeah, we had to. And Antonio Stark said Jermaine Burton would be a steal right now. Ellis or Hart for Nathan Floyd is in the chat. Terry has bounced out once again. I don't know what that connection is doing, but he'll be back in here shortly. Diva CC's in the chat with a tight end or a quarterback. Going to the tight end room. Let's see if Theo Johnson's still on the board. Hey, y'all. $662.59. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You didn't get it with Fitzpatrick. I totally understand. Charlie Warner's coming in as your blocking tight end. Kyle Pitts will be probably playing more of your receiver role. Still, he's going to be playing tight end too as well, but more of your receiver role. You got Kirk Cousins. Remember the joke between the targets? Hey, get me targets, you get the jersey.
Yep.
Falcon fans, I see y'all in the chat saying Jordan Travis. Man, you got a guy named Theo Johnson from Penn State. Tight end. Okay, you know what? It's for the fans, right? It's for the fans. The fans are in the chat
One time
saying,
for the
look,
fans.
Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis.
One
One
time
time for the fan. One time
for the Travis. Let's
for
do it.
Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis from Florida State is in the building. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Don't forget, Falcon fans, we're going to be back Wednesday. We can always do another mock draft. Falcon fans, you can also go and download this Pro Football Network and do your own mock draft too as well, because we're all in this together talking Falcons football. Now, we look at our picks. Latu, Braden Fisk, Roman Wilson, running back Braylon Allen, cornerback Chris Abrams, safety Jaden Hicks, and quarterback Jordan Travis. Now we're at a place where we can draft some more depth guys because we still have some more picks. And what are we missing really? We added to the wide receiver room. We added to the running back room. We got our edge rusher. We got our nose. What are we missing here? Let's go look and see a tight end. It's always cool to draft a tight end. And never mind. We'll go to the next room.
Yeah.
My guy was gone. Theo was gone right after it. So let's go now to the defensive side of the ball. You got a corner earlier. Let's look at the linebackers. Tommy Eckenberg from Ohio State. Lafau from Notre Dame. Omar Spites. Where's my boy from Ohio State? Where is Steele? There he goes. Steele Chambers. You know what? I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold out just for a second here. And let's go back and look at the edge rushers here.
Let's do it.
Let's look at the edge rushers. Jonah Ellis from Utah. Brandon Jackson from Washington State. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, or subscribe button in the channel. Red Swarm said, nice draft, GMs. Hey, we're doing this for you, Red Swarm. And at the end of the day, we can do another mock Wednesday. We can go live and do a pop-up podcast Thursday and do 100 mocks until we get it right. I guarantee you this. We're going to win. We're going to win together. Marina said, why Jordan Travis? People are mad that we have Kirk and he's coming fresh off an injury, and maybe the same people are yelling draft Jordan Travis. Can you solve this riddle for me? Well, the Falcons did say they wanted to add to their quarterback room.
Yeah.
Right? And if we look at some of the quarterbacks who's available.
They wanted to, yeah. And they wanted to make sure that Taylor had competition. You know, they didn't want to just give him the number 2 spot.
They did mention that. You're right, Terry. They didn't want to just give him the number 2 spot, and he took the roster. He got the bonus, and then he took the roster cut too as well to give us a little bit of cash back. Big shout out to Taylor. Yep. But to know that he's going to be competing for that second spot is pretty cool because you're not just locked in on who your QB2 is just yet. So for that role, if you bring in the Jordan Travis, then there is going to be a competition battle. I said this before a couple weeks ago when they got rid of Ritter and kept, or a couple days ago when they got rid of Ritter and kept Taylor. I said, well, Taylor should be the QB2. Then you hear Raheem say, nope, we're going to have a competition battle.
Yep.
Oh, shit. I mean, you have some quarterbacks in this draft that if you have a healthy Kirk, you wouldn't be worried about Jordan Travis or Taylor Heineke with a healthy Kirk. Because we shouldn't see them unless they're coming in to take a knee every now and then, or it's week 16 and 17 and we're sitting Kirk because we got to get ready to host the home game.
Because we're already 15-0.
Yeah. And whoever wins that competition battle between Taylor and the rookie or Taylor and the backup veteran. But don't forget, Falcon fans, I mean, I can go pull up this other screen for you. It's pretty bad about the quarterbacks that's available. You got Ryan Tannehill, Joe Flacco, Jacob
Is Nick
Eason.
Foles, is Nick Foles available or did he retire?
You got available at backup. I think Nick Foles is still available too as well, unless he did retire. Yeah, Nick Foles was there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you can convince Matt Ryan. But I think the Falcons maybe take a shot. And that's why the Spencer Rattler talk was being talked about. Because they may go quarterback this draft for a guy in the later rounds. And this is where we are. We're in the later rounds. We didn't go draft in the first couple picks. We're at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on our 8th pick because the Jets traded back with us, and now we can use this on the quarterback, Jordan Travis. 7th pick. So we know Hicks, from the way they played Helms, will probably be on the field. Chris will be on the field. Braylon's going to score a couple touchdowns. Every one of these guys in front of you is going to be on the field. Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Travis now, different story. But here's the deal. You got a guy that you're trying to complete your room. Now your quarterback room is complete. Now your running back room is complete. Maybe if they want to go, and this is why I don't think they go a bunch of wide receivers in the draft, because fans are going to say, well, you signed Mooney and Rondo Moore and Ray and you brought back Hodge. Like, why would we just go get like 3-4 wide receivers in the draft? I don't see that happening. I see a tight end in the building.
You could, because no disrespect to Ray, but he's more of a gadget player. I mean, he's
Special teams.
special teams. He can fly, but I don't. If I had to look at it, I see Ray as like your fourth or fifth receiver. Hodge also special teams, maybe your fourth
Okay.
or fifth. Now he could compete for a hire, but if we're really looking at it, I'm looking at it as Drake, Mooney, Rondell. So if you do have room for 2 more receivers if you wanted it.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
You do.
Now, do the Falcons want to go get a veteran receiver to help out this wide receiver room? You do have Mooney, you do have Moore, you do have Drake. So you got some guys that kind of know the system, and you're bringing in one rookie right now. I mean, we drafted Roman Wilson in the 3rd round, which is not too bad. Now, if you're looking at offensive tackle or offensive guard, Javon Foster from Missouri. God, no report on this guy. Is he his PFN network? These are guys that we've heard about too as well. Ladarius Henderson. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, you're just shooting for the stars here, and I don't want to do that on the channel. Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Who are we looking at right now? If we're going for the offensive line as we get ready to wrap up this draft, and we got like 2 picks left, right? Or you're going to the tight end. Man, this is getting to the end of the ball here. Let's run down to the back of the list here.
I would say tight end.
Tight end. Let's get it. Eric All from Iowa, 6'4", 252. We missed out on a guy named Theo Johnson. Jaheim Bell, drafting 2 Florida State players. A lot of at this point, you're not going to get too many notes on these guys. So I don't want Falcon fans in the chat getting upset. Javon Foster. Let's see. Is he still on the board? Let's see here. Oh, Javon Foster is still on the board from Missouri. 6'5", 313. I'm going to look at, Javon Foster is a name too as well. And I don't want to just go off previous mocks where I'm like, oh, yeah, I saw these players. No, I've also seen a couple a little bit of tape on some of these guys too as well, as I just go through my day. But I haven't sat down and just said I've studied Javon Foster. But then again, the tape I've seen on this kid could fill what we need here in Atlanta as a depth role. We're running back with the same starting line, Terry. Am I right? It's a depth role.
It is.
So let's get an offensive tackle off the board.
Let's do it.
Going to the next pick here as you go into the draft results. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. We're getting you guys ready for draft, but don't forget we have our live draft show coming up for draft night. Day 1. We're not doing day 2. We're not doing day 3. Day 1, we're going to be in here for a good amount of time. And Falcon fans that was here with us last year, you guys know how it was. Yes, we're going to have about 10 special guests joining us talking Falcons football. And it's great when you have so many people in the chat who just enjoy talking Falcons football 24/7. So we're going over the picks now, Terry. Latu. Don't forget, we traded back with the Jets. And the Jets gave us everything. They even gave us half of New York. So you got Latu at 10. Then we got Fisk. Then we got Roman Wilson. Then we got Braylon Allen, Chris Abrams, Jaden Hicks, Jordan Travis, Javon Foster. Now we're going offensive tackle. How many defensive players we got on the line? Let's go back and look at some defensive players, Terry.
Yep, let's do it.
Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa is still on the board. Now we're in day 3 where Christian Boyd can come off the board and be a member of the Atlanta Falcons. And of course, Brennan Jackson, too, as well, is still on the board. That's the damn info I'm looking for when I'm selecting these players. Brennan Jackson, Another edge rusher, depth guy, kind of like your Tyquan Graham
Okay.
type of pick, where he's going to get in there and get probably less than 30-40% of the snaps, but he can make an impact when he comes into the game, working with Grady, working with David. But then again, you have a guy named Christian Boyd now. Oh my God. Berto put me on game with Boyd. Terry, you can't go wrong. Look at the chat.
Let's
Where
do
you
it.
at, DT? You can't go wrong with Boyd.
Let's
You
do it.
can't go wrong with
Welcome to
Greg
Atlanta.
Olsen. I'm
Welcome to Atlanta.
looking
boy.
at this scheme. Wherever you're gonna put Grady, where you're gonna move these guys around. You still got Zoe Carter, Zach Harrison, Andre Bacady, D'Angelo Malone. Might bring back Calais or Bud. I'm gonna go interior right here. I'm gonna go with Christian Boyd. Christian
do
Boyd
it.
is another monster you're getting in the later rounds. If you missed out on a Sweat, if you missed out on a couple players, that's like, man, we could have had this guy. We could have, but then you got players that can make you feel good as a fan. Christian Boyd, Jordan Travis, Jaden Hicks. These are the players that will make a difference when they get into the game. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Jordan Travis. I'm talking about Javon Foster, Jaden Hicks. We know Jordan Travis wouldn't be your day one guy, right? But we can see that Christian Boyd from his tape, Jaden Hicks from his tape, Braylon Allen's, Chris Abrams. I can see these guys on the field. They went as far as playing DeMarco Hellams where he was drafted. I can see these guys hitting the field. Nathan Flores in the chat said Boyd would be your nose tackle and Fisk can play the end spot with Grady and Aminata. And here's the cool thing about that. You're rotating, Nathan Floyd. We're rotating. Yeah. It's a 3-4 defense. Terry, you talked about it. Jimmy Lake getting guys in and out fresh. You want to make sure that these guys are ready to go every single play. And that's what happens in the 3-4 scheme. You see that a lot. Definitely see that a lot. Players moving around all over the field. Now as we get to the last spot left. A friend of mine told me if you get to the last round and Steel Chambers is still there, you better take Steel Chambers. 4.4, Jesus Christ.
He's there. He's there.
Falcon fans, let's hit like, share, and subscribe button. Let's wrap up this draft so that way we can go ahead and get ready for a smooth night. I know people have to get ready for work tomorrow. I know people got some things to do, and it's always great talking Falcons football with you all. Pamela Johnson said, I will be at the Benz with a couple of my Lady Bears AFN hosts. Hey, don't forget about the audio going on in there too as well. You don't want to get any strikes. I know I went live. When did I go live in there? A couple years ago, they did something, and YouTube flagged me a bunch of times. I don't know if it was because the radio station was broadcasting or they had music on NFL, that type of thing. But just be careful with the copyright strikes when you guys go live in there. But definitely have a good time. Steel Chambers is still on the board, Falcon fans. Most of you guys have probably saw some tape on Steel Chambers. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out the way. Not just making a pick to get over the draft. No, Steel Chambers has been a decent selection on a couple draft boards, and I've also seen some film on Mr. Steel Chambers. Now, that seems to be it. That seems to be it, Terry.
We had 10 picks. I think we had 10 picks, right?
That's it.
We had 10 picks. Wow.
That's it. Who wants to pull this up? Who wants to pull this up for me? Let's see. Who can screenshot this? My draft. Right? Bring this up.
Like you can. Latu, Braden Fisk, Roman Wilson.
I got this right here. There it is.
All right.
Screenshot it. Take a picture. Right. That what Smokey said. I don't give a butt. So, man, this draft right here. 1, 2. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. We went 6 defensive players. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 offensive players. A trade back with the Jets. Falcon fans, we went. Come on here. Like, the trade back with the Jets was perfect. We said we wasn't going to do it, but then the Jets said, here, take it all. Take everything you got. We just want a backup quarterback at 8. Let's go over the full results of that first round right here. The Jets trading with us to take J.J. McCarthy. I mentioned the GM's comments at the NFL Honors about wanting to select a backup quarterback. They need a backup quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not playing for the next 2 or 3 years. And if he gets injured again, you got to have a guy in place. They are going to go heavy. I thought they were going to go JC Lethem. My friend keeps telling me it's Lethem. In this mock right here, they traded up with us to go get JJ McCarthy. Terry, looking at our draft results for our mock right here on One Time for the Fan, we did select some pretty good defensive talent, and then we selected some offensive talent. I think the only player that you may not see on the field on this board right here, Terry, is probably Jordan Travis this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to be working a rotation where you're going to need Kurt healthy. Your offensive line is going to be going back to a pocket presence type of quarterback. So you might even see some Javon Foster or whoever that tackle or guard may be. Right? You're switching out some guys on that 3-4 defense. So you're going to need some linebackers. And we only selected really the one right here if you want to count Latu, wherever he's going to be playing. But he's going bull rush. He's going full speed ahead. Steel Chambers is going to be having your guy more so helping out with Trey Anderson and Caden Ellis and so forth. Jaden Hicks too as well. Is Richie Grant going to be here? Falcon fans have talked about it. We don't know. But Jaden Hicks was another guy we got a steal off the board at in the what? 4th round? 5th round? What we get Hicks?
Is that the 6th round? Or no, it could be
the 5th round.
It could be the 5th round. Yeah.
Oh, no. We got Hicks in the 4th. Yep, we got Hicks in the 4th. Which looking in the 4th round, we was able to get Hicks and Jordan Travis. But who else? I mean, William Shipley was a big guy in the 4th round. McKinley Jackson went to the Patriots. Who else? Jermaine Burton went to the Texans. Tyke Smith to the Bills. I'm comfortable. Cam Hart to the Seahawks. Seahawks came away with Shipley and Cam Hart. That's actually pretty good.
Who got Penix?
Penix went to the Michael Penix. That's a good question. He went to the Giants. 2nd round. Which in the 1st round on our mock, the Giants here went with Joe Alt. So if Daniel Jones is not their guy, and look at these scenarios, because then it makes you wonder, if Daniel Jones is not their guy, like how you've been hearing rumors and reports, they have their future tackle to protect their future quarterback.
Yeah, they do.
It's how these teams build up for this. Look at Denver. Let's see what Denver did. Denver went Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, in the 1st round. And then what did Denver do? Are they keeping that quarterback? Where'd they go? Where's Denver? They ain't got no 2nd round pick. No, they don't have a 2nd round pick. Wow. They really good. On this mock, they're going to stick. Oh, they went with Leonard Taylor from Miami, defensive tackle, going to like the end of the 2nd. Wow. They're going to stick. In this mock, it shows that they're going to stick with, what's the guy's name from is it Jared Stentham is the guy? Their quarterback?
Stidham, I think.
They're going to go with that guy?
Hey, man, you never know what
you got rid of Russell Wilson. Are you sure?
Yes, they did. Looks like
that's the route. That's the route that they chose to take. The route that we chose to take was this one, Falcon fans. Latu with our 1st pick, Braden Fisk with our 2nd pick, which these 2 guys right here are game wreckers. You're talking about Grady Amenyata and these 2. Come on.
I like
Roman
that.
Wilson. Kurt's gonna get him the ball. We know that. Braylon Allen, short yard situation downs. He's gonna punch it in. Your TJ Duckett running back is back.
There you go.
Boom, 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 boom. That's all you're gonna be hearing. And you know Dave Archer and West Durham, they do a great job calling the game. Why are you gonna hear Braylon Allen another touchdown? Shit like that. Chris Abrams, wherever they put him, do I see him in a starting number 2 role besides AJ Terrell? Possibly not. Maybe they go get a cornerback in the free agency. Jaden Hicks, game changer. Travis, we'll develop you. You could have been the Heisman before you was injured, and then you wouldn't even be in this spot. If you didn't get injured, you wouldn't even be in this spot.
Yep.
Javon Foster, we got rid of Hennessy's no longer here with us. They did re-sign New Zeal, and I think they re-signed Storm Norton too as well.
Yeah, they did.
But you got another guard. I mean, you got another tackle in the building, another offensive lineman. And we only selected one this draft, which means they might go get another in the offseason.
Yeah.
After the draft, they might go say, nah, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough.
Yeah. I like
Terry,
it.
I'm lit, bro. I'm so lit off of this.
I like it.
Uncle Steve's in the chat said, fellas, yeah, as far as YouTube strikes, did a live interview with Brian Burns' whole family during the season opener and had to take it down because of the background music and MBS. So that's what it was too as well. Even when I did an outside broadcast, Steve, and big shout out to Uncle Steve too as well, content creator. Make sure y'all go follow his customers. And I haven't even got Steve on the podcast yet too as well. We've been on multiple podcasts talking football with other people, and we chatted, and we've also been to we watched a couple Falcon games in London too as well. I saw him in London, which we had a conversation, and then I saw him at the Falcons Panthers a little kickback we had a conversation there, but never had Steve on the channel. But make sure y'all go follow Steve now. Y'all go follow Steve. But yeah, I was outside the fans, and it was a tailgate, and a bunch of stuff was going on, and the strikes from YouTube was like, we'll take it down for you. You seem to be busy right now. But yeah, just be careful when you guys are recording podcasters in certain environments. It's tough to get some of that stuff cleared. But then again, when you're a broadcaster or somebody who has like 500,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers or 3 million subscribers, it makes it much easier to get that stuff cleared and taken care of. I've seen podcasts left and right where they play it all day, but then again, they're sitting over 2-3 million subscribers. So for Falcon fans, you don't want to chance to take it down because you get a bunch of copyright strikes, and it has happened before too as well here, Terry, where the NFL game might be going in the background and a couple commentary notes might slip up and you might hear it, and next thing you know, YouTube then send a strike like, nah, we hear the NFL in the background, bruh. We hear that.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that, content creators, as you guys are out there on the road, or if you're doing podcasts, at the Benz coming up. Quentin Lavender's in the chat. Say, yo, fellas, rise up. Terry, did you get this? Did you take a picture of this?
I did not. You took a picture of it, right?
Get this one.
Yeah, and just send it to me.
Yeah, I mean, we have it on stream too as well. I'm gonna go ahead and send it out. Yeah. You want to go ahead and make it right here. Oh, this is great, Falcon fans. I know Falcon fans are happy about seeing more defensive players than offensive players. We did it, Falcon fans. We got through it, and then we'll post it, and we will see what fans say about the results. And that's the cool thing about being a Falcons fan. We can do this 100 times, and different players will be thrown around. But Latu, Verse, and some of those names we're going to talk about Wednesday, they're still going to be there in that top 10.
Yep.
Matter of fact, damn, I should have brought the share screen up. Let me go back to round one. Rome went 7 to Tennessee. Turner went 9 to the Bears. Terrion Arnold went 11 to the Vikings. Mims went to the Raiders. Brock Bowers went to 15. Jared Verse went 18. So some of these guys we're going to talk about on the channel Wednesday. We're going to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. We're going to talk about Joe Alt. We're going to talk about Rome. We're going to talk about Dallas. Talk about Latu. We're going to talk about Malik Neighbors, Quinyon Mitchell, Jared Verse. We're not going to talk about Brian Murphy II. We're not going to talk about Nate Wiggins. We're not going to talk about Xavier Worthy. We're not going to talk about Jordan Morgan, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Keon Coleman, Johnny Newton. We're not going to talk about them because they are not on our radar.
Right.
Not the Falcons, our radar. We're going to go over some of these prospects that we believe could be a great fit here in Atlanta. Pam Johnson, big shout out to you as well. Pam Johnson in the chat. Diva CC said, not mad at that draft at all. So big shout out to Diva CC in the chat too as well. Nathan Floyd said, Allen at 74 makes Algier trade bait. Well, don't forget about the Ezekiel, what's the guy's name? Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard situation. When you got two strong dynamic running backs, sometimes it's going to be difficult to keep both of them, right? So maybe it's a time down the road where hopefully the organization sees the potential of this two-headed monster and is like, we got to keep him forever.
I think in today's game, it's worth it to have three backs. And the reason I say that is because if you want to maximize your return from Bijan. You don't want him out there every down, right? Like I'd say maybe Bijan gets 60, percent of the carries. Maybe Tyler 35, and the gentleman that we took in the draft, maybe the remaining 15 or whatever percent is. But here's the thing, right? People get injured. So
I just already mentioned that. Yep.
You know what I mean? It's good to keep 3 serviceable backs, right? Like nobody is Bijan, so you might lose a little, but you gain a little in that. Let's say Bijan does go down. Well, you now have 2 bruisers.
Yeah, you still have Tyler. You have another bruiser, Brandon Allen.
Yeah, they're handing out elbows and chicken sandwiches all day, right?
From our mock, that's what you have.
Yeah. And you can only hit them in a certain radius, boys. So get ready.
That's the one thing about the new tackling system too, as well. You're getting a guy like Brandon Allen. If you do select the guy in the draft, a 6'2", 6'3" guy, 240, you're gonna have guys it's gonna be tough to tackle.
Bring a lunch.
And then you got Bijan Robinson, who's so elusive, and then Tyler as well as a bowling ball. He's just wrecking shit. So Falcon fans, we went through this draft tonight together as a fan base. Just trying to find out what fans' perspective is looking at Sunday night here before the Falcons get back to the office tomorrow. And then next thing you know, they show up tomorrow and start redoing restructures, and they bring this guy in, and this mock don't mean shit.
Everything changes. Right.
Everything changes. So we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I can guarantee you at 10 o'clock at night with a rebuilding Falcons team, I don't think the conversations are done. I think Terry and them are talking group chat wise or however, like, look, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. And then the response is probably, yeah, we're going to do this because we're going to win. Falcon fan, this is great. We have Falcons, content creators and Falcon fans in the chat and just diehard overall red and black enthusiasts here in the chat. But I got to talk to you, Terry. We're doing big things this year with One Time for the Fan. And I have to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat.
Yes.
Because, man, so many times we talk about what we can do for the fans. How we want to do things for the fans. And for those that wanted the giveaway last month too as well, the giveaway stuff is out. So you'll be getting your giveaway gear shortly. So Carlton Brunks, your giveaway stuff should be arriving to you before the draft. Sterling Woods, your giveaway stuff should be arriving to you shortly. Jordan, God, I forgot his name. My boy Jordan. He gonna trip if I Jordy Shepherd. My boy Jordy.
There you go.
My boy Jordy. Cindy, your stuff is on the way too as well. And then Diane, I see Diane all the time. So I'll be able to catch up with Diane shortly and get her gift too as well. For fans in the chat, we're gonna do another giveaway on draft night, right? And we want to make sure fans are excited because we never know what we're giving away. But it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. We'll go ahead and check out what they got in the Falcons team store. You never know, and we'll buy some stuff and we'll give away to some fans, man. We know we love giving back to the fan base. Oh shit, Arizona too as well. Best drink ever. Mactown Dirty's in the chat. He's throwing them around, man. Big shout out to all the emojis y'all be dropping up in the chat, man. We love to see the support from everybody in the chat. Lisa Shepard said we'll be in Detroit for the draft. Excited to see who we select. So that's another thing too as well. I tried to get some Falcon fans who went to the draft last year, and I was copyright strike for that too as well because of the interference of the audio in Vegas. And they sent it over. I mean, they sent that strike quick. That shit was happening during the damn show.
Wow.
But that's how it is when you're dealing with NFL and media and all that type of stuff. So, Terry, this has been great talking Falcons football. We got a chance to go over what the Falcons could do without drafting. What the Falcons could do now that they don't have Riddick. Riddick's gone to the Jets, and that's crazy how Riddick's gone to the Jets, and the Jets end up trading with us in a mock draft here tonight and give us 3 picks that we end up taking advantage of and bringing in some gems. Right, so you miss out on one guy to bring in 10. You know what I'm saying? And it's possible when you got certain draft scenarios like that. But don't forget, Falcon fans, you had the Jets giving us 3 picks. Denver gave us 2. And after that, it was just no more picks. And I mean, there was no more trades. So sometimes you get activity, sometimes you don't get activity. And that's the joy of these mocks. But Terry, we're ready for draft night.
That we are.
We can talk a whole nother hour. about the Atlanta Falcons, and we're gonna have to do that in a matter of weeks because Draft Night presents a 3-hour and some change show. And we're gonna have some special guests on the show with us talking Falcons football. But thank you all for just being a part of what we got going on here with One Time for the Fan.
Yes.
Terry,
Thank
the
you all.
floor is yours for any shout out, sir. You've done a great job here with One Time for the Fan, and we can't wait for your baseball podcast to start on up, man. Baseball and Falcons. He's talking Braves. He's talking Falcons on the Terry podcast. So we can't wait for that. Terry, what you got for the shout outs, my brother?
Podcasts for Braves and Falcons will probably drop in a month, so I will get everyone the details. Thank you for that. As far as my shout outs, man, hey, shout out to God on Easter. He is risen. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to the fans in this chat. You guys have been great. The one thing I like about the fans in this chat is you guys are well informed.
Yeah.
Guys are well informed, right? It's, if you come with some opinions, they're based on something. Now, we can agree or disagree, but it's not just, oh, I feel this way. It's, well, this guy is this way because of this and that and so forth. And I just love it. I think it's intelligent when you can come with some substance. And I gotta say that the fans in this chat are well, in my opinion, the most intelligent that I've seen. So great. Okay, she'll be at the April Braves and Mets game. Awesome. So yeah, shout out to the fans. Thank God. Thank my family. Shout out to Bodie, who's not here. Shout out to Chase, who's not here. And hey, man, as always, shout out to the host, the man with the most, Mr. 80 on the run, Mr. I dropped 85 points in 3 quarters, not 4.
75.
Mr. Jack Spade, the floor is yours, sir.
I don't like to take credit for dropping more points than I, didn't score. But 75 that day. Could have been 85. A couple fouls wasn't called, but
could have been, could have been.
For the love of the game.
On one that day.
For the love of the game.
Yeah.
Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, Falcons fans. At the end of the day, this is all for you all. I keep saying it over and over again. Sitting here talking in an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours. It doesn't matter. We're going to continue growing this fan base. We're going to continue making sure that fans are excited about, don't matter if it's practice, training camp. Like we're planning stuff right now for training camp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're planning stuff right now for things for fans to do in the off season.
Gonna be awesome.
Right. And that's not Rise Up Tour stuff. That's like One Time for the Fan stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my friend hit me up the other day. He was like, how are you gonna be doing this with the Rise Up Tour and One Time for the Fan? I said, bro, we've been doing this for years.
Let's do it. Nothing.
It's just getting bigger now. You know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't change, but we got some events coming up this year. Where One Time for the Fan this off season is gonna have some people, just out and about.
Jack, before you go, I do have a few questions for you.
Yeah, man.
You know how my brain works. So, 3 questions, right? This draft is a touchdown, is an absolute success if. That's the first question.
Mm-hmm.
This draft is just okay or as scheduled if. And the last question, these Falcon fans will riot if. Go.
So from looking at the chat tonight, I think we can all agree that edge rusher. So this would be a good draft if the Falcons select him. I don't want to just throw out edge rusher and then be like, oh, you're hating on the wide receiver, you're hating on Marvin Harrison, or you're hating on. I'm not. But okay, the Falcons will have a good draft. Your first question, if they select the right player who's not only a fit now, but a fit later.
Okay.
I don't want one and dones here in Atlanta at the number 8 pick. I want a guy who could be a future Falcon for life. I want a game changer. I want a guy 4 or 5 years from now. I'm like, man, I'm so glad we drafted this guy.
Gotcha. A definite second contract guy.
Yes, that would make me feel good that the Falcons have drafted a guy who's not only making an impact on the field, but he's going to be here for long term too as well.
Gotcha.
Like If it's a wide receiver or offensive player, he can take like a Tyreek Hill. He can take the top off of the defense. He's a guy you got to watch for. You got a game plan for this guy. But the second question now, it wouldn't be good if you select another player who ends up like a Takk McKinley.
The second question would be the draft is meh. The draft, it's just okay if.
It's just okay if you select a guy who ends up it just wasn't the right fit. I want to say like a Vic Beasley or Takk McKinley on this one because fans will use that for the third one, but it just wasn't. So we're talking about Jared Verse, we're talking about Latu, we're talking about Marvin Harrison, we're talking about Neighbors, and then you go and get Brian Thomas the third or the second.
Nothing sexy.
It's an all right pick, but it's like, matter of fact, I have the names right here. All right, you go and get Byron Murphy the second or Nate Wiggins, the cornerback from Clemson, at 8. And it's like, all right, we got a guy who's gonna, you got cornerback at number 8, so he's definitely gonna be a starter, right? He's your first round pick, so he's gonna be okay. Cool, we got a starter, but we didn't talk about Nate Wiggins, man.
Yeah,
or not enough. So we're hoping that the Falcons got it right. And then your third one is you just dropped a fucking bust. I'm talking about busty. I'm talking about even worse than Takk McKinley. I'm talking about worse than Jamal Anderson. Not the running back.
Ryan Leaf. You're talking about Ryan Leaf.
Man, I'm talking about, Joe Blow from the fifth floor. Like, you're talking about a guy that's Falcon fans have a problem with off the field. He ain't coming over there to sign autographs in the training camp. He talking about his agent doing. I don't want to hear the off the field issues and all that nonsense. Go get a guy that can make the Falcons really rise up to this team. Really feel better about this team. My first answer, I think, is what fans want. A guy who's going to be here, a second contract guy. Long term, makes an impact. We win games. And hell, we might even win a Super Bowl. Because right now, if you're talking about the Falcons winning the Super Bowl, Terry, in the next 4 years before 2027, that means the players on this draft is on that roster.
Yes.
If we're talking about the Falcons winning the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year, well, that means the players from this draft is on that roster.
Yes. Agreed.
So you can't give me a meh type of pick with these guys that's supposed to be on the roster. You can't give me that third question. We're going to have fans just going to lose their shit if we get a guy who just was a bust. You can't give me that with a team that is supposed to be winning the Super Bowl in the next 4 years or could be projected to do it.
Yeah. Last question. We know that our fan base can at times be fractured or in two different camps. Is there a pick or picks out there in this draft that can help to unite us as a fan base? Yeah, exactly. If we take a kicker in the perfect, Michael. Perfect. Yeah, that'd be right. They'd be riding in the streets. Is there a pick out there or a couple of picks where you say, you know what, you guys got it right, and we come together?
We'll talk about that. It's about on Wednesday. We're gonna name about 5 or 10 guys on Wednesday.
Okay.
Outside of those guys, who are fans talking about that we should be looking at in the first round? We've talked about Latu. Let's go. Look, in the first round, before we got Kurt, we talked about Caleb and Jaden and Drake and JJ, and all that was cool when we didn't have a quarterback. Now we have a quarterback. So it has now switched to Marvin Harrison, 1, Joe Alt, 2, Rome, 3, Dallas Turner, 4, Latu, 5, Jared Verse, 6, Quinyon Mitchell, 7, Malik Neighbors, 8. And that's in the top 15 range. If you want to go further past that, then you can go Chop Robinson. That's 9. And I'm just going to throw just a blindside out there. Terrion Arnold from Alabama. That's 10. Hell, he went 11 in our mock. You can't rule him out.
Are you mad if we take Quinyon Mitchell first round?
At number 8, I am.
Okay.
Not mad. Okay, look, here we go. Not mad. That's
But
my
but man,
nah.
shoulder shrug.
Not a mad to his skill, his player
Right.
performance, but
Mad
just
to
for
where we took him. To where we took him.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because in my mock, I just went from 8 to 10 and I just loaded up. Hell, I probably could have even got Quinyon on that.
Okay.
But then again, I ain't gonna be that type of guy. I'm not the type. I support everything about this team.
All about the name on the front of the jersey.
So whoever's going to be there at number 8, at number 10, at number 15, wherever we trade back, second round, third round, I'm all for it. Bring me a team that's gonna win. Bring me a team that can make some changes since the past 5 or 6 years. And don't forget, we're playing some big teams this year. And we're gonna be on prime time. We're playing big teams. We have $100 million quarterback. Let's put this shit to bed.
We'd have to be, right? You got the Revenge Bowl this year.
You got too many revenge bowls. You got Dan Quinn
You got Dan Quinn in Washington. You got Arthur Smith in Pittsburgh.
Minnesota, Kurt going back to Minnesota.
Right. That's 3, right? And Arthur Smith, I mean, it's layered with it, right? You got Russ and Sierra in Pittsburgh and Future. You got Arthur Smith. You got
Battle of the Stadium as well. You got AT&T Stadium and MBS. I mean, people, Cowboys and Falcons, Jerry Jones, Arthur Blank, that type of corporate business rivalry people have talked about too as well. I mean, there's some things to look at. And then we got the Saints too as well. We can't even count out the teams that we hate the most.
Yeah. I always hate the Saints.
Give us the primetime game against the Saints, if anything.
I wake up hating the Saints. I go to bed hating the Saints.
Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe. When you hear what Terry said, he goes to bed hating the Saints. He wakes up hating the Saints. That's my type of fan. Falcon fans in the chat, when you get ready for our schedule release show, you're going to hear a lot about the Rise Up tour. We've been doing this for years. We have, man, Terry, I talked to you the other day, didn't I? We have stuff planned right now with no dates because we got to wait till May. Mm-hmm. When May hits, we're back on the phone. Like, remember us? We're back.
We're back.
You have confirmation? We have big confirmation for you now.
We're back.
Let's do this. Are you at your desk? Okay, you might want to sit for this.
Let's do it.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. For those that's going to be traveling to the Falcon games this year, you want to hang out with some Dirty Birds, some diehard Atlanta Falcon fans that travel to away games. I'm talking about no rookies, real veteran type shit. They travel, they party, they take care of each other. It's a family type of vibe. It's called the Rise Up Tour. Auntie Pam know about it. Auntie Pam up in there.
There you go.
Yeah, a lot of Falcon fans in this chat right now that's up in there. Big shout to 330 in the chat too as well. 330, I didn't see you in there, man. Big shout to 330. But yeah, we got a lot of Falcon fans in this chat. If you're going on the road this year, our Vegas party is going to be
Liddy. It's going to be Liddy, as the young folks say.
Stupid. It's going to be stupid.
It's going to be Future and Metro Boomin. Is that what it's going to be?
Terry, you can say it's going to be Future and Metro Boomin.
Hey man, I might be in my 50s, but I'm hip. I got kids. I hear what they're talking about. I don't know what half of it means, but I hear it.
That was a good one, Terry. I got to give it to you on that one.
I appreciate it, man. I'm going to tell my son.
It's going to be Future and Metro Boomin. It's going to be a whole bunch of Metro Boomin, I can tell you that.
Booming.
Falcon fans, got to hit that like, got to hit that share. You have to hit that subscribe button. Not only for myself, but all the other content creators out here. Let's bring this community together. We always want to win. We're going to win at the end of the day. We're going to go to the Super Bowl, and we're going to have us a beautiful parade in the city of Atlanta. And if you're not there, you better find a way to get there. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You better ask somebody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Chat is always live. Chat is always lit. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Tell your Falcons friends. Tell your Falcons family. Big shout out to my family too as well. Everybody who does support One Time for the Fan. Thank you all. We're back on Wednesday night talking Falcons football. Don't know if Chase will be there. Don't know if Bodie will be there, but we will be there. Also, next week, Sunday, 1 week from tonight, we have a special guest joining us. we have JR from Pound for Pound. ATL
Love
is going to
it.
be joining us talking Falcons football, another content creator who, once again, we're just bringing fans here to the chat, to the podcast that want to give you their thoughts about the team. And we've been doing over 40 plus special guests. We got a whole list. Tara, I told you the other day, a whole list of special guests that's already been confirming.
Got a roster.
Different dates, different times before the draft, during the draft, after the draft.
Yeah.
And I just can't fast forward time, but I'm just glad to know that a lot of people are excited about.
Jack, we got our own special guest draft.
That Terry, you're on point today. Matter of fact, you're on point every day, but you're really on point today. I don't know if it's because of the time where you're just getting ready for draft show coming up in a couple weeks, but the energy that you're going to see on draft night is going to be unmatched. To see,
man, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I am. Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
I can't wait to
I cannot wait, man.
To be here with us too as well. Pam Johnson, can't wait for the schedule to drop in Vegas. Is my biggest trip. Upcoming cruise. Wait, hold on, Falcon fans. Before I get up out of here, you see how Pam Johnson's mentioning the cruise? The cruise is a thing from the RiseUp tour, the group I keep telling y'all about. We have a cruise coming up in the summer where we have over 100 Falcon fans on the cruise. We got over 100 Falcon fans on the cruise, on a boat.
100.
Partying. Going to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
We've been planning this since last summer. When I tell you about the Rise Up tour, man, y'all thinking about parties like, oh, just a party? Man, we got a whole cruise that we done planned since last year.
Let's do it.
Community events. We just ran the Hunger Walk for Atlanta. Donated a check to the Hunger Walk of Atlanta. Raised almost $2,000 for the Hunger Walk.
That's awesome.
And then we had members go run the 5K.
That's awesome.
It ain't about just doing. Don't talk about this shit. Be about this shit.
About it. There you go.
Don't talk about this shit. We doing this shit for real, man.
What did Marshawn say? I'm about that action, boss.
I'm about that action, boss, and I'm only here so I don't get fined. But once again, we got so much stuff going on left and right from events, man. So many partnerships and stuff we've worked over the years. At the end of the day, we do this for Falcon fans.
Yes.
And the love that we have for Falcon fans comes from the moment I cut this podcast off and go right back to finding ways to bring content to fans or studying the Falcons or reviewing anything I can to go into the Rise Up tour, talking about parties and events and so many things we can do to bring fans together. Going into our 6th year. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Terry, this has been great. I thank you all for tonight. Wednesday, 8 p.m. We'll be back. No acoustic cinematic tonight. We're gonna let you guys slide up about out here. Terry, did you like the acoustic cinematic the other night? Did you get it?
I loved it.
Chase loves the shit. Chase, next time you know, you see Chase's eyes start getting low. He starts going to sleep on the damn stream. It's like, yeah, that's what you need. That's what you need to get him out of here easy, right? Falcon fans, you want to hit that like, share, and subscribe one more time. I thank you all.
So Jack, you love the Falcons, right? And it's obvious, and I love the Falcons. We all love the Falcons. When did you fall in love with the Falcons?
Since the day I was born.
All right.
Heard this screech in the hospital. It's a Falcon.
Last thing I'm gonna say, I fell in love with the Falcons. Had to be. I always loved them, right? I always loved them, but I really, really fell in love with them. They're playing the Rams. We were in the NFC West.
Oh,
the Rams. Huh? Oh yeah. This may have been 70s, 80s. I don't know. The late 70s, early 80s. But we're playing the Rams. It's the last play of the game, right? Steve Bartkowski drops back, throws a Hail Mary pass, and it's caught in the end zone. And the Falcons win 10-6. And I was just in such disbelief. I'll never forget the feeling that I had. Because it went from just sheer depression and disappointment to euphoric joy. And from that moment on, I was gone. I can remember what I was doing. I can remember the room I was in my parents' home when I saw that play. I didn't even watch it because I turned around to do something else. And next thing I know, I just hear this roar of the crowd and he catches it. So I don't know. Is it maybe there's a moment for next show or show after that where you really think about, like, I don't know, maybe your top 1 or 2 moments as a Falcon fan, and it doesn't matter which ones they are, but where it just really cemented you as a fan.
Terry,
right?
you're giving other content creators suggestions. Now Uncle Steve would have written it down. I told you we need to listen to this. I told you them boys good. They check them boys out. Check them out. Yeah. Now we're gonna do a show. Nah, I would never do that, man. Steven would know he would never do that too as well, man. At the end of the day, we're Falcon fans. We all have a good time talking Falcons football. But these suggestions that you bring up, Terry, is big because Falcon fans want to hear this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? They sit in the chat and they, even if you had a dream or a vision of doing a podcast, for anybody in the chat, go ahead and follow that. You know what I'm saying? Continue and live that dream. For me, I talk about Falcons football. Terry, you see what it is when I give you the itinerary. It's Falcons football because, man,
Absolutely.
we want people to just feel at one with the stream. And feel, we're like a family here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these suggestions that you bring, Terry, we're going to talk about this on the channel. Man, we will talk about the doggone shoes the cheerleaders wearing. We do not care. Like, this is Falcons football. They ain't got no red and black on that damn shoe. What the type of damn shoe you wearing?
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Man, we gave a shout out to the damn mascot tonight. Like, real deal. You know what I'm saying?
Can we go back to the old jerseys, Jack? Can we do that? Can we just go back?
You get me going on these jerseys is going to be a problem. We do know next year, I believe the jersey submission should be there for the Falcons because it's supposed to be, I think, 2 or 3 years after they. Is it 2, 3, or 4 years after they submit the old ones? Remember the Julio Jones one was 2021.
Yeah.
And then he left, and then it's like, okay, well, let's go with the new submission. So no new jerseys this year for the Falcons, but it should be there next year for the
Falcons. Back to the throwbacks, man. I love it when they wear the throwbacks. I love it.
Just don't put us in black and gold. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We will see you all Wednesday, 8 o'clock, to talk some Falcons football. And then we'll see you back Friday at 9 in the morning to talk Falcons football. And then we'll see you back next week Sunday with JR from Pound for Pound to talk Falcons football.
Falcons football.
That's all we got, man.
Let's do it.
That's all we got. Big shout out to Terry F, baby, Raheem, the whole crew, Atlanta Falcons. If y'all do end up watching this